Hello and welcome out to this week's episode of Gamers Council. I'm your host, David Anthony WEBDAVE, and of course, my co-host, RHETRI. RHETRI, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, Dave. I'm happy to be here. We got a cool subject. I don't just play Xbox, even though that's what everyone thinks. But we're here to talk about PlayStation and some other things with these awesome guests we have.
So what
and we do have another
That's not what he
guest.
told me behind the show.
That's true. I'm
eyes. I'm just kidding. Hey, quick
I'm a
read,
show.
Joe. I'm just kidding. All right. Well, we got two of our guests already here. One of them will be on his way here shortly, and we do have Mr. Badbit Joseph. Joe, what is up, buddy? How are you doing, sir?
Oh man, I can't wait to talk about the topic that all you Xbox fans have been asking. Joey, would you like to be on the show, Joey? I'm like, I get it. I'm the only nice PlayStation creator. I understand.
Are a very nice guy. Yeah. That's why you're here. And you're
Well,
fair. You're fair.
Now I did schedule it with another, PlayStation eccentric, so he wouldn't be by yourself.
That's true. You have a buddy. He
He's
didn't
not
show
here
up
yet.
I feel like those pictures where I'm just the girl sitting on the black couch,
Hello there. Oh,
I'm new in town.
Jesus.
Why are there cameras?
Oh, wow. And with that note, we'd also like to welcome in Red Dead Panda. Panda, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? I'm just excited to be here. Thank you for having me on. I'm excited to talk some gaming news and talk about the PlayStation Showcase and all of that fun stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're very, very, very happy to have you here. So thank you so much for joining us. And like I was talking to you in the pre-show, I'm going to hit you up for an interview here before long. So that way people can know more about you. Yay. Joe's done an interview. So's RHETRI, and they survived, right, Joe?
Yeah.
I came back just a shell of my former self. Yeah.
So we're just looking at a cardboard cutout at the moment.
Yeah.
The animatronics are
AI
nuts.
version of him.
If it was really bad, I assume he would accept the invite today. So I think so far so good. Oh goodness. Well, let's RHETRI. I know you like to warm things up as we start building an audience here today. Let's start with just a first little round of it question just to get people warmed up.
Yeah, we kind of like to start it off just asking the simple question: what are you guys playing? And any TV shows, movies, any geek culture stuff that's piquing your interest, because we don't want to just necessarily we have a lot more interest than just outside of video games. So I'll start with you, Panda. What are you playing, and any geeky stuff that you're also into lately?
What have I been playing? This is a hard thing. I had to remember because I've been playing so many things. I started getting back into the Division 2. I really want a Division 3, guys. I really want a Division 3. I finished Planet of Lana, and I just finished Hoa. I think it's how it's pronounced. Yeah, I've been playing a lot.
I don't know that one. Hoa.
It's one of the games with gold.
That's why I don't know it.
So it took me like an hour and a half to finish the game. Okay. So it was a nice, quick game to play. Finished the last case of Benedict Fox, and then I also finished Ravenlock, and I've just been kind of spamming the indie games recently.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really just kind of trying to find something to keep me tied over till Diablo 4. I need something to.
I need something. Speaking my language right
now. But I'm probably going to go play some Sniper Elite 5 today. Yeah.
Nice. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't this Diablo the first one? It's like crossplay.
Yes, so we'll be able to play with people on PC and PlayStation and Nintendo, I assume, and all of that. So I'm excited about that because I wanted to play with people cross-play before, and you couldn't on Diablo 3. So yeah. What I've been watching? I just watched John Wick 4 like 2 days ago. Nice. So I was pleasantly happy with that. And I'm trying to find people to go watch Guardians of the Galaxy 3 with.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Good film.
Yeah.
James Gunn does amazing work.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say I go with you, but you're slightly out of my time zone. Well, you live in the future. So.
Yeah.
Future. Amazing here. Oh goodness.
Well, it will be because Diablo 4 is doing a rolling release. So New Zealand will get it first.
Rub it in.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, you lucky. I might have to switch my thing then.
And she
I've
doesn't
done
have
it
to
before.
cheat. She can just wake up and go.
Yeah, she doesn't have to cheat like I do. She just has to be there.
That's funny. That's funny.
Yeah, you'll just increase the population. There's only 5 million people
Exactly
here.
right. Yeah, every time your population, the servers just go nuts.
Yeah,
the day before a game
basically.
comes out. Yep,
All
that's a good
right.
point.
All right. So I guess that same question at Mr. Badbit.
What have I been playing? Pretty much nothing but Tears of the Kingdom,
Nice.
which I'm running into a problem as
Uh-oh.
I ran up and down the stairs. So much exercise. Well, first, my dog, he does the cutest thing. When he wants to come inside, he knocks on the door.
Aw,
And then when
the
he
little
d-
scratch.
The little scratch. And then when he needs
Mm-hmm.
to come in, he'll ring the doorbell, which is bark. And I'm like, ha ha, my little
Wow.
man.
Got that dog
Dude,
trained. Nice.
He's just naturally genius. He's just so smart.
Mhm.
Anywho, I've been playing a lot of Tears of the Kingdom. I am 45 hours plus.
Wow.
Only 2 temples down. I'm addicted to this game, man. It's all I'm thinking about. It's what I'm dreaming about. Man, just there's so much.
Did you
good in
enjoy
that
the
game.
one before that? Did you join? Like, were you a fan of the one before that?
Yeah, I'm like, don't get me wrong. I don't think Breath of the Wild's like the greatest game ever made. It's not in my top 10. It's not my favorite Zelda, but I do
Yeah.
understand how important it is. I mean, like without it, I don't have Elden Ring. So, like,
Oh my god, I keep hearing that. I
Yeah.
got like suckered into like because I'm not a Zelda fan, but Elden Ring's like probably my top 5.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "Well, if you like that, you like this game." I'm like, I don't know. I didn't like the last one, but
it's similar in the sense of it's like you're making your own fun. You know, you're
okay,
you're just exploring the sandbox and you're having fun with the sandbox. That's what it's all about.
Mhm.
But if you didn't like Breath of the Wild, chances are you're not gonna like this one. That
Okay,
being
that's
said-
that's kind of what I'm wondering. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It just wasn't for me. You know, it is what it is.
it's just proof that Nintendo is the best developer and publisher, though. I'll just say that hands down.
Yeah.
I don't even think anybody comes close, because what the Tears of the Kingdom, how it takes advantage of such limiting tech in today's standards,
Yeah.
it just blows my mind.
good
Like
point.
their cloud
Yeah.
technology, remember, like the PS5 is the power of the clouds, all that stuff, remember, for the
Mhm.
Horizon stuff. Yeah, this, I'm like, how are the clouds moving? How are the clouds looking this beautiful? How am I like jumping from the literal sky into like a goddamn cave and it not like bucker down or just
Breaking.
break? Like I've not 45 plus hours. I'm saying this with complete confidence. I have not run into a single bug or glitch. You can't say
Wow.
that anymore, like today's games.
No, not these days. You can't.
No,
They
it-
did delay it a few times, didn't they? Or to
I
stretch
think
it
like
out.
once or twice, right?
Yeah, pushed
but
it back.
it's
Yeah, but that's good. If that's what
Yeah.
cleaned it up.
and like for the
Mhm.
first time, the shrines are actually fun. Like it's just, man, at this point, it just seems like Nintendo and at least the Zelda crew are just bragging about what they're able to do. Because you
Showing
can
off a little
see,
bit.
yeah, they're just showing off. You can see that this game's going to have ripple effects as to its influence. It's just incredible. That said, loaded up Beat Saber, and that's all I've done. I loaded up Beat Saber.
Oh wow. Okay.
I have not gotten the
Nice.
courage to play it yet, but dude, once I saw that, which we'll talk about, of course,
Yeah.
that was such a huge moment for me. I was like, yes, all right, excellent. So yeah, I went back, I downloaded that, and I'll probably be playing that tomorrow for sure.
Yeah.
But I'm also waiting for Diablo. My anxiety with Diablo is I don't know what class I want to pick, because as much as I
Mhm.
like all of them, I don't necessarily love all of them.
Right.
So
Yeah. So you
I
kind of commit. Like when you're in, you're with that character for a very long
Exactly.
time. Yeah.
So I gotta.
Yeah.
This week is gonna be doing research what class I actually want to be. But last but not least, we'll be talking about games and/or movies that I've been watching.
Mhm.
Let's shout out to Ted Lasso.
Nice.
He's actually gonna
Good
make
pick,
a
good pick.
yeah. I was
The
gonna
feel good
actually.
show. The feel good show is Ted Lasso right there. Makes me feel like I'm back in the 80s almost, like when TV
It was
wasn't
nice.
as nasty.
It wasn't all about like murder, you know? It's just
Yeah.
a who
Don't get
done
me
it.
wrong. I absolutely really love the murder shows too.
Oh yeah. No,
Yeah.
like what can I say about Ted Lasso? It just makes you feel good. Like it
Mhm.
just makes you feel all the emotions in a single episode. You'll laugh one moment, cry the next, feel inspiration the moment after. Like it's special. And I am
Yeah.
not a
Is
sports
this the
guy.
last season? Bad bit? Is this the last
They-
one or is there one more?
The thing that annoys me is like, just tell me it's the last one. This
Okay.
is. They say that they're going to take the only thing
Hiatus type
concrete
of
is they're going to
thing,
take a
or-
very long hiatus, and I'm like,
Oh,
just
boy.
say that's the
say
season
you're done.
finale. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, which I feel like that was a mistake that they didn't do, if I'm honest. But it looks like there'll be spin-offs and all that jazz, so I won't be completely lost. But
Oh, cool.
it's my favorite show ever. Like the last episodes this week, it's my favorite show ever. I love it so much. Breaking Bad,
Wow.
you used to be number 1, now you're number 2.
Wow.
Ooh, Breaking Bad's right up there. That was so good.
That's cinema.
Man,
Yeah.
All right.
yeah, 100%.
Nice. I'm gonna do some quick shout outs to some people that are in the
Mhm.
chat. I also like to thank Timmy, who's there, RSJ fan, Taylor Ray. There's a whole bunch more. Farq you.
Fuck
Sorry.
you.
No, fuck you. Okay.
No,
Anyway,
fuck
so
you.
it's all in the way you say it, right? And of course we got Red Band here. It's so awesome. Oh, we got let me add them in. And also Dirk Gritty is here. And oh my gosh, Dirk, we're so
Dirk,
happy
what's
that
up,
you're
brother?
here. And in fact, Dirk did our first super
He
chat
broke our cherry. Oh,
ever.
what? That's right. We passed 1,000.
Goodness.
We got our first super chat.
Boom. There we go. All right.
Nice.
Let me
What's up,
do
Big
the
Cloud?
super chat real quick, and then we'll introduce BitCloud because we're new to all this part, so this is kind of scary. So here we go. I'll let you read that, Retri.
Yeah, Dirk Griggity, what's up, brother? What's up to Web Dave and the panel? Good to see everyone. Good to see you, sir. You will be joining our show soon. Question
That's
mark.
right.
I can't remember when, but soon.
He will be here on the June 11th show, right after that same day
right.
as the Xbox showcase. He will be here along with Tim Dog. So that's going to be a crazy episode right there. So yeah, make sure you tune in for that one. But for tonight, we have got an awesome panel. We've already met our other two guests, but now we have Mr. BitCloud Gaming. Welcome, BitCloud. What's up, buddy?
What's going on? Thanks for having me.
Oh man, I'm so glad that you're here.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being here. It really does mean a lot. I know you were I guess not hijacked is not the right word for it. You were drafted by the Iron Lords today to make the call. They were reaching out, and I was like, well, that's
The
a good
2
one.
bits had to show up.
I love
Yep.
it. I love it.
Exactly. 2 bits are better than 1.
That's right.
Well, that's why I told Joe when he got on here. It's like I got BitCloud with you, so it's like to me, there's
Get some backup.
we're all gamers, and that's the most important thing. Okay, some people prefer other platforms or whatever, but I didn't want Joe to be here by himself, and I didn't want BitCloud to be by himself. But when you both agreed to come on, I was like, that's perfect. That's awesome. Because it's an important day to talk about this. And just a quick thing that we are now taking super chats. Thanks, Dirk, for that. I really appreciate that. We also have memberships, so we do have that started as well. It's all new to us, so you just have to kind of bear with us if we kind of stumble across this particular episode as far as that stuff goes. But as far as the rest of the show goes, we know how that's going to go. And if you don't mind, Retri, hit BitCloud up with your question real quick, and we'll what we like to talk about with everybody first.
Yeah, so BitCloud, we were just asking, going around the panel, asking everybody what they've been playing lately. If there's any geek culture stuff, TV shows or movies that has interested you, or comics, or anything in that regard. So we'll start off with what you're playing.
So been playing a lot of Master Duel because I platinumed Jedi Survivor not long. So
Oh, nice. Yeah.
we're done with that. And I'm also playing Final Fantasy 7. I have to stream that because of Red Hood. So been getting into Final Fantasy because of him.
Nice.
So that's the other thing.
Awesome. Any
Awesome.
pop culture stuff or any movies or TVs you watching that interest you, or just games lately?
In terms of movies I've watched, Evil Dead Rise, pretty damn
Yeah.
good.
That was pretty damn
Yeah,
good.
saw that. Yep.
Yeah, pretty damn
Yes.
good. Evil Dead Rise. We had what else recently came out? Let me see here if I remember.
I went on
correctly.
a date to go watch Evil Dead Rise, and I
That
told
was a
her,
fun
"Please
date."
don't do that. Please don't do that." I'm not. I
That's-
said.
don't
I
know if
said
that's
to
a
her,
first date movie.
I
material,
don't
but-
like horror movies, and I said, this is how I sold myself. I'm not a proud man. Please don't make me do this.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
Please.
God.
I hear ya.
But yeah, Evil Dead Rise, we saw that. And as far as like upcoming, I guess you can say anything like I'm hyped up for in terms of TV shows or movies. Yeah, I'm ready for the final season of Cobra Kai. Can't wait to finally get
Nice. Yeah.
that trailer. Well, see it. So, yep, pretty much me.
Awesome. Very good. Good picks right there. Well, Dave, I don't know what you've been playing, but I am
Fast
still
X. That's it.
still
Oh, yeah, there you
Fast
go.
X. There you go.
Family.
I've been playing
Good
Jedi
one.
Survivor myself. Finished Planet Alana, like Red Dead over there, and Ravenlock also as well. So I've been kind of on an indie kick myself. And of course, I play in Fortnite. I always play Fortnite. And I'm the last person on planet Earth still playing Redfall with some people on the stream, believe it or not. I don't hate
did
it as much
see you
as
do
the
that.
rest of the world. I know, I played like 6 hours last night. I didn't realize how
What a marathon,
much we were
man.
playing it. I'm
You
very
glutton
very
for
close to
punishment,
finishing
aren't
that.
you?
I am absolutely. I'm all about the punishment. I'm
No, you know what?
deep in it,
You
so.
and my frenemy Luke Laura absolutely love that game, and I love what he said about it. He's like, "Listen, it's a 7, right? Like it's
Yeah,
a
that's
good game.
exactly
It's
what
not.
Yep.
It's not great. It's just a
a
lot of
7 for
fun to
me.
play. You know?
Yeah, it's definitely a game with a ridiculous amount of flaws. I mean, literally 3 out of the 6 hours, I'm probably making fun of it. So if you think I'm just a person who just likes Xbox stuff because I have an Xbox channel, you'd be wrong. Yeah, there's a lot of us going, what the F is going on? There's so many bugs in that game, but it is what it is. I'm having fun. We're playing online with people, and that's all that matters. So
I
Very
haven't
good.
even
Yeah.
touched
That's true.
that game yet. I need a 60
Really?
FPS mode. Yeah.
Fair.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're one of those. Okay.
I get
don't blame
motion
ya.
sick from
I-
30 FPS now because I play most of my games at 120 FPS. So going to 30 is quite jarring.
Oh,
Yeah,
look at
I can see
you,
that.
fancy living.
Okay. See, I heard about you people get sick. We see people. It's not BS.
It's too funny.
There's some people out there who literally, turns their stomach if you get 30 FPS. So
Yeah.
Xbox and all the developers listening, jack that shit up. You give us
That's right.
60 frames for God's sakes already. But
There
yeah,
you
I'm
go.
kind of a
Coming.
60 frame person as well. It is coming. It is coming. Nobody knows when,
Yeah.
but it's coming.
Yeah. Next generation. Hey,
2024.
never
Oh,
Oh,
goodness. But yeah, I've been playing Diablo 3. There was a big
Oh,
sale
nice.
where you could get Diablo 3 and Diablo 2 and all the
Mhm.
expansions for I got it for
Super
like
cheap,
$15.
yeah.
I was like, I'll take
Yeah.
it. So
Not
that's
good
what
work.
that's what I've been playing. So
Nice.
that's pretty much all
Good.
my time. Download all the other games y'all talked about. And then I played
Yeah.
them. I bought the new Legend of Zelda. It's sitting in my system. I turned it on, got to the very first part, and then I just turned it off, and I'll get to it later. When? I don't know. Look at he's got
The backlight. He's got all the
I
little
love it.
figures.
Got it.
Yeah.
He's ready to go.
Very nice.
Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Oh, one more. Oh, nice.
Got them all, baby.
Nice.
I
Very
haven't got the
cool.
new ones, Brad. I haven't got the ones from Tears of the Kingdom, but I've got all the old ones. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I wish I had the Majora's Mask one because that one fetches for a pretty penny. And
Yes,
so
it does.
You talking like 100 plus, or are you talking like
It's getting there.
hundreds?
it's getting there
Yeah.
since the release of Tears. Because if you put that amiibo in, you get the Majora's Mask. Like
Oh,
you get to
gotcha.
wear it, and I'm like, I kind of need like Majora's Mask is
I
my
need that.
favorite.
I kind of need that.
Like it's my favorite Zelda, and so
Right.
The
I
bunny
need it.
hood running around at speed in that game.
yeah,
I love that game.
so good.
There you go. All right, Retri, hit us up with the first question and pick somebody to go to.
Well, really, it's just about overall. All right, we
Yeah.
want to talk. We're talking the PlayStation Showcase here. Kind of everyone's overall thoughts, maybe how they felt about it. You don't have to score it. I'm not looking for scores or anything like that. But I'm looking for kind of the overall feeling by the time the hour was done, how you felt, and highlights and whatnot. We can kind of go back and forth with the different games and stuff, but kind of an open-ended conversation. But I'll start with you, Panda, at the top. What did you think of the showcase overall? Like, what are your thoughts?
Well, I
Just
did
kind of
score it.
overall.
Like initially,
You can
thank you.
score it. You can give us a score. Go for
Initially,
it.
when it first started showing, you've got Fair Games, and then you had Helldivers 2, and then you had what's the avian game? I can't think of
Immortals.
it. Immortals
Yeah.
of Avian. Yeah, I couldn't think of
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it feels like it's gonna lead into a solid 8 by the end of the show. And then
Right.
shortly after that, things started to kind of just continue, and it was okay. Like, I gave it a 6 out of 5, and I tried to take my bias of loving Xbox out of it and just look at it as a whole and going, there are plenty of games that I really like Dragon's Dogma 2. I can't stress enough how much I'm looking forward to playing that game. It's making me want to go back and play the first one. Assassin's Creed Mirage and a few other titles that just really stuck out to me as games that I know that I will be playing on my Xbox or even on PC. But overall, just looking at it being PlayStation's showcase, and they've been pretty quiet. They've done some directs and such. I was expecting a lot more. I was expecting just more first party to show up. So I was quite disappointed in that respect. And that's why I gave it like a 6.5 out of 10. I wasn't trying to just completely trash on it because there were good games shown, and I was trying to be level-headed in that respect and acknowledge that these devs have put work into it. I was just also very shocked with the amount of release windows, like 2023. There were so many games that there was no date given, and I was expecting a little bit of a roadmap for what we can expect on PlayStation, because I haven't yet pulled the trigger on the PlayStation 5 yet, and I do want to pull that trigger, but I just need some compelling games that are for me that will allow me to pull that trigger, and I haven't seen that, and I was hoping to see that during the showcase, and I didn't. So for me, I was a bit disappointed.
This butte right here, this clear ripoff of
Helldivers?
Starship Troopers.
Well, just Starship Troopers. Well, I was like, I would, I mean, this
Yeah.
looks
I love this game.
interesting, and I don't think I've seen enough on it yet to kind of make a decision, but I think it'll be a fun game to play like alongside PlayStation, like first party, because it's a third party studio, like an independent studio making it. So I guess it'd be like a second party sort of deal in that respect. But yeah, it just didn't hit the mark for what I was expecting, because it's 3 years into the generation now, and Xbox had a very quiet 2022, and that was 2 years into the generation, and people called out Xbox left, right, and center, going, you're 2 years in and you still can't be delivering these games. We're 3 years in, and this is what we get. So I feel like, I know PS4's generation started off a little bit slower in that respect. They had a lot of indies at the beginning, but they kind of came out swinging, and after that, and just kind of destroyed and dominated the generation from that point onwards. And I was kind of hoping that this was that showcase that would show what their dominance for this generation was going to be. I do have to temper my expectations, though, because I know that they are focusing on those games as a service where they're trying to sort of fund their other development titles by getting that money in through those microtransactions and all of that. So yeah, it just was a bit of a letdown for me, knowing what PlayStation has done in the past.
Yeah, I mean, I can kind of relate there. It's what you said really hit home with me, where you started off with like the Haven game, Fair Games, and Helldivers. I thought hit really well, and I'm extremely excited about Immortals of Avium. And then I can't. Well, Phantom Blade definitely. There's definitely some things here for me that definitely stuck out. I was actually very shocked at Phantom Blade from a developer I don't know about, and I heard, and I don't know if maybe you guys can back me up on this. Maybe you guys know more about this. Is the developer of Phantom Blade whatever the heck it's called, Phantom Blade Zero. It was that a mobile developer? That
Yeah,
transitioned?
mobile.
Kind of
Yeah.
studio,
turning
and the
into
first game was a mobile
mean-
game, and then they've now gone into make a full-on game. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
it's far
wow.
away though. This game,
Yeah.
it's
Very
Yeah,
far
I mean,
away.
you thinking like 2025 type of deal,
More.
maybe, or
more likely.
more.
Okay.
But it looked
let's say
impressive.
26, yeah.
Like
I'm.
if they
I do
could-
have to say, like, yeah, I'm impressed with what I saw. So, good for them. I mean, we have seen in the past other developers that came out of nowhere, like one, not really out of nowhere, but I mean, again, Housemarque surprised me with their games. So I was like, wow, these guys, like, it can, I think people maybe jump on the gun too quickly on the whole mobile thing. I saw some negativity online.
I mean, look at
everyone
Harry.
got mobile.
What's it? Hogwarts Legacy. That was a mobile
Bank,
developer.
that's a great
Yep.
example, Bit. That's a
Portkey
great
games,
example.
yeah.
That's a
It
very
doesn't-
good example.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if you got a great creative vision, direction, and
You got a
guess.
passionate team that care. You can
passionate
actually.
team that cares, but like
Yeah.
Good engine, everything like that. Yeah.
a nice strict vision honed
Yep.
in. Yeah, you're gonna have a good game.
Absolutely. Do we know what engine Phantom Blade is?
I
by any
believe
chance, or is
Unreal
it
5. If I
Yeah,
Okay,
I
that makes
think that's
sense.
right. I'm pretty sure
Okay.
you're right.
Very fluid
best
though.
engine.
What we saw.
Yeah.
Very fluid.
Yeah, I think for me, Phantom Blade, I wasn't like visually, I wasn't like wow, but what impressed me was the gameplay. The actual like fighting mechanics looked very solid.
The fluidity in it, yeah.
Yeah, the fluidity was
Very
reminding me a little bit of like
Gaiden-esque.
Ninja Gaiden,
Yeah.
kind of like Team Ninja type of stuff. So I was like, okay, like it definitely piqued my interest. But Bad Bit,
yeah,
what would you say, sir? Like, what were your overall thoughts about this? I know you both of you guys have probably talked about this at nauseum.
yeah.
So
If I may, yeah, because I don't want to repeat myself. I want to try. I'm going to tackle this from a different angle.
all right, let's do it.
I feel like, Red Panda, you said something really interesting. I sense a frustration. I sense a frustration with Xbox, and I sense a frustration with PlayStation. We're 3 years into these consoles. And listen, they are both selling great. They're both selling gangbusters, but we're all still looking for the reason as to why we bought these things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We are still looking for the reason as to what is the next gen thing that you sold us on.
And you're already charging us the next gen tax.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so is it graphically, is it fidelity? Is it something that this game can do that really couldn't be done? We take a look at Xbox's first half, and you're right, it's been a slow first 2 years. When I take a look at the PlayStation's first 2 years, they were also very slow, right? You did rely on, indies and second party to really carry and propel that console. It's not
Right.
until The Order and Bloodborne where things actually started to kick off for Sony in a major way. We're 3 years into both these consoles, and of course I prefer my PlayStation. I enjoy my what I've gotten there. There's been fantastic games there, but there hasn't seen or been the cadence of, all right, this is why this console exists and the PlayStation 4 is outdated, right? Like we're still
That drop the
seeing
mic moment, yeah.
Ratchet wasn't there for you.
I mean, Ratchet was there.
They kind of sold it as the game, right? With the whole with the SSD
Just a feature
scenario that was going
with
on,
SSD,
right?
yeah.
Like the feature, yeah.
But like for me, like I'm still seeing PS4 and Xbox One games, you know?
Yeah.
And so
100%,
I'm
yeah.
looking for the hey, let's finally break into this generation. And that's what this showcase didn't do.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It didn't show me as to, hey, this is why I need a PlayStation 5 right here, right now. Hey, this is why it's exciting to be a PlayStation fan next year. It's just more, and I think the biggest problem with this gen is it's still more of the same. It's still more of the same games. It's still more of the same franchises. Things are just starting to look a little stale in this generation. I sense it in the room where it's like, when are one of these guys going to show me that thing that this is it?
Who's going to
And we
blink
haven't
first
gotten-
type moment?
Can I
Yeah.
step in here real quick? Because
Please.
I've seen this online on Twitter just recently, and I don't know if I disagree with it. Are we just spoiled? Like, are we becoming too greedy as
No.
gamers? Like, where we? I love it.
Not at all.
No.
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 I'm
You
just.
charge them 70,
I
we
wonder if
expect
we are just.
what we're paying
You know what I
for.
mean? Well, I don't
Amen.
disagree with that. Like, I agree. Like, look, you're right. You're giving us that next gen tax. Where's the next gen game? I can understand that. But I guess sometimes I feel like we just have so many games to play. I know my back catalog is absolutely insane. And I just wonder, like, I try to compare it to the years like 1998, 2007, the best years in gaming. I feel like this year could be damn solid. I feel personally, and maybe I might be in the minority, that this could go up against some of the best years in gaming.
Oh,
So are we
Yeah.
just
absolutely.
talking?
Yeah.
Are we just talking like a $70 thing is the problem, or I guess I'm getting, you know what I mean?
I think we're just waiting to be, again, because I'm exploring this thought. I think
Mhm.
we're waiting to be wowed by someone, right? Because you're right.
Yeah.
Like this year has been great. There's been a lot of awesome games. It seems like every game I play, I go, and that's my game of the year. But like Hogwarts Legacy, I could
Yes.
play on my PS4, right? Like
Yep.
Resident Evil, I
Touche.
could play on my
Yeah.
PS4, right?
Mhm.
Survivor's the first game I can't. That's good. You know, that's where I come out ahead here, where when we're being shown all this stuff, it's like we're waiting for someone to show us the goods, and I don't think either of them have shown that to me in this showcase,
Correct, yeah.
especially.
This is what we were
hasn't done
craving.
that.
Yeah, we were craving that bad.
It's been 600 plus days.
Yep.
You have to
Yeah,
talk to
that's
us.
a long
There's
time, yeah.
no ifs or buts about it.
Yeah.
At the
Do you
600
remember
days,
Splinter Cell
Panda.
when they had it cross-platform in the sense of you had the Splinter Cell game on, what was it, the OG Xbox, and then you had the Splinter Cell game on the 360, and you had two different development teams working on it because
Yeah.
the 360 and the PS3 were able to deliver, I guess, gameplay mechanics that the old consoles couldn't.
Yeah.
So they had to design two different versions of the game. And we're not seeing that. You're not seeing this is why this version of this game can only be played on this hardware, other than the SSD and like this ray tracing and stuff. It's like, when are we actually going to see what these consoles can actually do? And we're not
Yeah.
getting games that kind of show that. I understand like scalability, and that's sort of where they've gone around the x86 architecture with PC and engines and all of that. But it's like, when are we going to see why we upgraded to these consoles? And we're not seeing it. Yeah.
So I think that's the
Yeah, I mean,
frustration.
I can't really. I definitely. I mean, you're not wrong. I can see the frustration on both sides of the fence for sure. I mean, we're seeing it over and over again with bad PC ports. We're seeing it over and over again with non-60 FPS games constantly. I mean, that's annoying me. It just seems like it's just taking too long to get there. And I know, obviously, we had COVID, and
Crispy
that is
Bomb says
certainly a
something in the
valid
chat I do
excuse.
want to say.
yeah,
I do want to mention.
absolutely. Say
Crispy
it.
Bomb,
Say
when
it.
you see Gears in Unreal Engine 5 or Hellblade 2, let me tell you something. Hellblade 2, I'm excited for. Like PlayStation
Yeah.
got number one here. I'm excited for Hellblade. I really
Platinum
enjoyed
the first
Hellblade.
one.
Yeah, Hellblade 1 is great.
Yeah.
But
that is-
Gears, ooh wee. When we do see that baby in Unreal 5, oh, my heart. My heart.
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
Crispy, you're gonna want to watch the trophy room in a few weeks. That's all I'm gonna say. Yeah,
Spoiler alert.
you're good.
Yeah. BitCloud, what's kind of your overarching thoughts of this showcase? Were you happy with it? Were you mid? Like, to give us your opinion on this showcase.
I mean, like Joe just said, over 600 days of us waiting, hoping, obviously we going through our traditional little rituals here every time when there's a big showcase. Okay, summon
Mhm.
circle, Bloodborne, give us something, like something big.
Right.
No, so
Wish
when
list.
we go into this, the crazy thing is, a lot of people saying, y'all, the people who are damage controlling this, saying, no, you guys shouldn't have went in this with high expectations. No, it don't. I hate this mindset because we've already been set up by Sony with this, with the expectations that was set based on state of plays. Mind you, there have been multiple state of plays that we've had that have brought 3 times more energy that was put into the showcase, that have had bigger announcements than that was in the showcase, and actually felt more important than this showcase. So the fact that this is our first ever showcase in this long time, everybody was hyped on what was going to be shown in here. And typically a showcase, especially when you had E3 and everything in nature, that's usually where you show your big guns, something really, really big that you just haven't heard of, or you prove a leak right, or you just simply come out here swinging. The fact that I'm looking at this showcase, and the fact that there was out of all the games shown, in terms of gameplay, there was only 1% that was PlayStation that was shown here, and that was pretty much Spider-Man 2. Everything else here was third-party multiplat that had gameplay. There was nothing else. There was CGI trailers, stuff that I hate. Listen, CGI trailers
are you?
I was
hit and miss.
for
Are you
me.
a CGI? Okay.
So, CGI trailers are hit and miss. If a game like company is just starting and they just want to share a CGI trailer just to give you an idea of where they're going, like for example, Fair Games, okay, sure. But keep in mind, if that's all you got for your showcase is those type of announcements plus one game with a demo, that stuff could have been a tweet on Twitter. Fair Games could have been a tweet on Twitter. Same thing goes for Concord. You know what I'm saying? Like, and all that nature. Final Fantasy, we've already seen Final Fantasy. People have geeked out at Final Fantasy already. This isn't doing anything any fair. You're overexposing Final Fantasy at this point, and damn near getting people sick of it. It had a dedicated state of play. So obviously, some games could have filled the void here, like Death Stranding 2. But I already know where Death Stranding 2 is. That's going to be a Kojima show at this point. But again, it goes to show Sony just had their mind elsewhere. VR support, there was some games here in VR that looked great. Resident Evil VR looked amazing from what we saw. It's no longer the hands. It's actually the arms. You actually do look like you are Gleon in this time around. So that's cool. That can be very immersive. It actually gave me the cravings for a House of the Dead in VR after seeing how well that Resident Evil 4 remake looked. So that was good. Synapse looked good. All the VR stuff was fine. The indie support, I know a lot of people don't like indies. I'm okay with indies at a showcase because usually they use them to build up, right? But the pacing was completely off of this show altogether. It was like indies here at the beginning, then in the middle I'm seeing indies. I'm like, wait, why are we still seeing indies? Shouldn't they show that in the beginning? Then you build up, get to your first party. When we got to the first party, the last thing I was expecting to see from Jim Ryan, I said this in my chat. I was like, this showcase is really it's really getting on my nerves right now. And I better not see no hardware reveal at this showcase. I swear to God, I said it. This whole chat's gonna feel my wrath if I see a hardware reveal at this showcase and what they're showing. And here comes Jim Ryan. Jim Ryan introduces the Q, the rumored device that's been talked about for so long. Me and Joe already ripped this thing to shreds. Shout out to Kyle. I'm trying to hold the line, but I'm sorry. This has got to be
holding the line.
You holding the line?
I'm holding on it. I love the Q.
I'm buying one.
For the Q.
All right.
I'm buying one.
Looking at the design of this has got to be one of the ugliest,
beautiful,
uninspired designs I've ever seen.
You ever see a Picasso painting, sir? Some would consider that ugly, but that's art.
Somebody literally at PlayStation headquarters. Say, Jim. Okay, we like the concept. How are we gonna do this? Here's Jim. So like that super glue that Zelda's doing right now, when they're gluing it. Okay, so I have an idea. Let's cut a DualSense in half. Okay, I like what you're doing this, Jim. And we put on the sides of a tablet. That's it. That's the design, and we got this.
That's the one.
This thing was just hitting. It angered me because I was like,
PlayStation Labo.
Terrible design. They're calling it the PU, which had me dying on Twitter.
Damn.
You ain't see the meme on Twitter. It was like called the PU.
I did not see that. That's the first I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Funny.
Hilarious.
My biggest concern with them showing that hardware though is just the fact that it's streaming over Wi-Fi remotely from your PS5. They haven't really given enough indication. Like, could you be on the other side of the country, access to Wi-Fi and streaming from your PlayStation?
Yeah.
Like,
You're not streaming to a Gaikai server like beforehand. This is literally remote play. Remote play requires
Right.
your PS5 to be on. So it's not like you're giving your PS5 a break. It's not like it's a seamless thing where you're just like, okay, I'm done. Let me put this PS5 in rest mode. Let me go play this. No, the PS5 has to be on in order to use remote play.
It's
So
the messaging, right? Though the messaging was just bad with that.
Messaging's bad.
he said streaming, but
He said
Yeah.
streaming, but like
Yeah,
right
I mean,
now,
I
what
got- I
we know
got
of
it.
it is
Yeah.
it's remote play.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Streaming over
Right.
Wi-Fi, yeah.
That's what killed
Yeah.
it for me. They're like,
Yeah.
oh, remote play. I'm like, dead.
So if
dead.
if that remains true by the time this thing comes out, yeah, this thing's dead on arrival.
and it's already DOA.
Yeah.
That
DOA.
said,
And the
though,
It is
price
DOA.
point,
Buy
though,
it
I'm a
fucking
bit concerned
dog.
about
All
the
right,
cost.
we
of
got to
what
take
it's
bets.
gonna be.
I'm definitely going
get into that.
300. Are you guys
So,
thinking? What are you guys
I
thinking this
was
is
in
going to
the
cost?
two. A lot of people think it's 350 because of they were
No,
naming
no
one
way.
particular handheld. I think it's
No.
going to be in the $200 to $300 price range because
US dollars?
it's new. Well, it's
Yeah.
a new piece of hardware for one, but I do think they are going to push the $200 to $300 price range. And also keep in mind as well, they introduced these new wireless earbuds.
Love
to
those.
go with this.
Unironically,
The
I
earbuds
feel
are
like-
probably the coolest thing,
Yeah.
but at the
Yeah.
same time, I thought it was funny because the last time we saw wireless earbuds from PlayStation or Sony in general, they cost like $300. That was their like top tier ones.
Yeah.
I don't expect these to be super top tier the way Jim is like talking about them. So I expect these to be like in the 190 price range.
I
Yep. I'm
expect
thinking
it
200. I'm thinking exactly 200 for those.
100 to
Yep.
150.
Yeah, I'm
Wow.
up there
That'd be generous.
because it gets wild beforehand too. Because it all started again. Shout out to Tom Henderson. He was in the chat ILP, but he broke the story about this, and he was saying like, oh yeah, by the way, the Pro's real, guys. And the leaks were saying that Sony plans to drop the Q first, and then the following year a PS5 Pro. We already got the
Ooh.
Q. We got this head. We got these earbuds. Now the PS5 Pro does drop. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be even more pissed because we haven't seen really no next gen jumps.
Good
It's
point,
still
good
been
point.
cross gen, and a lot of people
Yeah.
now have fears that Spider-Man 2 is cross gen by what they've been seeing graphically. I'm like, listen, I don't think it's going to be cross gen. But at the same
Yeah.
time, I get people's concerns, but the game's not done yet. Marketing, the reason why you ain't get a release date for Spider-Man 2 is because the marketing has not started. Tony Todd already told us the marketing that they plan for Spider-Man 2 starts in August. That's when the game's officially going to go through all the marketing, the whatever they do, the custom trains or whatever the case may be. I don't know how they're going to go
Holy
about
moly,
this.
August? August to come out still this year then?
Yeah, so it's
You
dropping this
start
year.
the marketing blitz, okay, in August, and then it comes
and
out
then
probably
just like
November,
probably
maybe?
drops like September or November.
28th, right?
Yeah.
Yep. And then they drop it that way because that's what Tony was alluding to. So there's a lot of things you do. They
Gotcha.
they also probably going to have custom shelves because I think they did that for Final Fantasy. You can buy like a custom shelf for your PS5. So I can see black PS5 shells that look like the black symbiote suit, maybe.
Let's
But
do it.
aside from that, that big thing, like that whole hiccup, Jim goes, okay, let's show another game. This man literally cut away and showed a movie.
I was gonna ask you about that.
I was like, Jim, that's not a game. That's not a game. That's inspired by a game. That's not a game, Jim. So I don't know
Something
why I have a movie.
we've already seen that.
Exactly.
We've seen it already.
Why do I have a movie reveal at a showcase
At a gaming
that's really
show, right?
dedicated to
Because
your first
why
party?
not?
Exactly. So he
No,
does this.
So as much as I understand, I understand it, right? Like,
Yep.
this is synergy. We're seeing PlayStation in the most
TV.
synergistic we've ever seen them, right? Like, it's just like, yeah, let's be partners with our production companies, with our TV company. Like, let's get us all in tandem with each other. Let's get each other talking with each other, or else it's kind of like the we're stronger together type of thing. So I understand it, but like, no. That being said, though, if this was like, let's just say like Last of Us Season 2, I don't think we'd be complaining. I think mostly.
No, you're
mostly
right.
has to
I do agree
come
with
down to
that
this
point
movie, though?
100%.
Like
Looks
we're
like ass.
actually dedicating time that could have been shown towards something like a Twisted Metal remake.
Well,
Time
turns
that
out
could have
they
been
weren't ready to show it, I
spent.
guess.
Yeah, time
That
could have
trailer could have been
spent
shown
to
at their pre-show before the countdown. I mean,
Exactly.
they didn't even have a
Yeah,
countdown.
that's a
A
great
time.
point, Panda. That is absolutely a pre-roll thing you show. 100%. Like
Time that
I
could have
do love
point.
yeah, I do love the shows that do those little pre-roll things. It's almost kind of like, whether it be indies or not, maybe show your indies there. You kind of get them out of the way.
Yep.
Look, less is more, right? Maybe this shouldn't have been an hour show. Maybe it should have been 45 minutes. You know what I mean? That would have been fine. Like,
Should have been called a
I
state of
think
play.
it should have been.
Yeah.
It should have
Because that's what
probably
all
been
press
Deluxe.
releases called it.
elongated state of play.
That's what all the press releases called it.
And that's
A
A
crazy.
state of
Yeah.
play.
That
They
was a state of
legitimately called it a
was
state of
better than
play.
this. Yeah,
I
like,
gotta,
state
you
of
know,
play
the
is
thing
better.
is, yeah, I have to kind of agree with you on that, BitCloud. Being like an Xbox centric guy, I still love my PlayStation games. I don't like Sony, but I like Sony games. And
Yeah.
I felt like we were all wrong. Like, I predicted this show to be like a 9 out of 10. And for me, it was kind of like where Panda is sitting, like a 6.57 if they're lucky. And that's just because of the lack of first party just
Mm-hmm.
surprised me to no end. I really thought after 600 days they were going to come out kind of swinging
I mean, yeah,
like crazy.
like all their
and we
state
got
plays have
what,
hit
4?
in some capacity. Yeah,
Yep.
We
and
were
this one,
4
I was
first
expecting
party?
this to really swing, like really come out, but it was just really weird. The energy was off, everything, and then after the
Pacing was
TV show,
bad.
he's like, "I'm gonna show you one more game." It's like, shut up, Jim. At that point, I'm like, shut up, Jim. I already know what
Just
the
say
last
you're
game's gonna be.
yeah, Spider-Man.
Like, I already know what you're gonna show. Just say we're gonna end this with Spider-Man, and thanks for watching. I'm like, okay, thanks. We're getting the Spider-Man reveal. Looks amazing, no pun intended, but it looks incredible. I love what I saw. Love what I saw with the Spider-Man. I like the new black suit.
Yeah.
I like what they've done with how they made it more. They're making Peter sound more sinister when he's when he's in this suit. So
He
it's
should
really
have
cool.
never came to New York. I'm like, oh, fuck
Yeah,
you.
but no, it's crazy because like I kept looking at
Batman.
exactly. I kept looking at the suit and I like what Insomniac did in terms of design. You can actually see like the symbiote moving in like the crevices, like in the neck, like moving around. You can see it kind of in the reflectors of the eyes, little tentacles.
Looks cool.
So
Yeah.
I thought that was cool, and I was like, damn.
Yeah,
That is a
Doug's
dope
suit, dude.
design for a black suit Spider-Man, and I like how they introduced it. Really, really cool. So they
Now,
definitely
do you
showed
think that's
in
do
the
you think that's
gliding-
real? Like real talk, do you think that sequence is real?
Which one?
Because where he comes out and he's in the black suit. Kyle brought up this point.
I think
the
that was just
trophy
put
room.
together. Yeah, I think that was just put together. I don't think
Was-
that's all it's saying. Just like I don't think because remember how they pulled the bait and switch with
Yep.
Mr. Negative when we first
Exactly.
saw 2018, where like he's in the helicopter and he's shooting, and it's actually not him in the actual game. I
Mhm.
just like the same
So
thing
you're
here.
saying it
I
was
don't
edited
expect.
together for
Yeah, I
that?
think it's
like
just spliced
impact?
together. Yeah,
Gotcha.
it's spliced together
Yeah,
to show you
yeah.
like a tech demo where they're at. That's why they were putting a big emphasis on him gliding. They were showing that you can build momentum because this one, 2018 was really good for the web slinging, but it was more style over substance. You know what I'm saying? Like you didn't really build a lot of momentum to swing and go through the city fast. It was more or less you just going at a certain pace. It didn't matter how much you dive bombed to build, momentum. This one, no, you're building momentum. You're going fast. Like the thing with Miles, when he kept like just zooming through the city, hitting those little those boosters, going through it. Like that's exactly how it is. So I can definitely see it because they showed Craven in the helicopter. Again, I don't expect him to be in the final final build of the game. That's just all built for show, just to show you what exactly they're planning on doing, what can they do, and what improvements they made. And they showed a lot in just that. Like they showed the villains, a lot of the villains, some of which we knew about, like Yuri Watanabe. She's now being called Wraith. If you play the DLC, you would know what that is. She's Wraith. She's basically an assassin. So that was cool to see. We saw, Dr. Connors. We know they gave us some nuggets in the gameplay. They basically told you that, Harry is out the tank. Peter knows. So, it's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
but overall, the
definitely
show, I think Tom Henderson said it great. As a gaming show, it was fine. You could give it a passing grade. But as a PlayStation show that was heavily advertised by PlayStation, I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. It was very, very bad.
Ooh, okay.
Very, very bad.
Yeah. I mean, that's exactly how I thought about it. Like from bird's eye view, from 1,000 yards away, if you just look at it as a gaming show, it's not bad.
Yeah. There was
as
an
a
PlayStation
PlayStation
showcase.
Yeah. Then it's not great. You know what I mean? Then the number goes kind of skyrocketing down. I mean, games like Foamstars from Square.
Say correct.
I can't even not
come
laugh.
correct, goddammit.
Listen,
Game of the Year candidate, Foamstars.
I need to know.
I
need to know what y'all think about Foamstars.
This is literally Sony trying to become Nintendo. I want you to understand.
I like your
is
thinking,
it
Panda.
Splatoon? I mean, is it basically Splatoon?
I want you to understand. This is
like.
Sony literally trying to copy Nintendo at its finest. They want that Nintendo audience so bad for some reason. When I saw the trailer for it, and at first, like the CGI thing, I'm like, okay, are they shooting bubbles? Like, what are they shooting? And then the gameplay gets shown. I'm like, oh my god. Square Enix really just likes punishment, don't they? They really sat here and made a Splatoon for PlayStation, and
it have a Splatoon at home.
It looks terrible.
All I'm gonna say
it looks really bad to me.
Never play in yellow foam.
It was just too saturated. The color's too
saturated.
Don't eat the yellow snow.
Don't
play any yellow foam.
She'd been to too many raves back in the day. I've been there. Oh man. I was just curious if anyone saw Foamstars as maybe a little glimmer of light, because I saw that and went, "Is this fucking for real?"
Yeah, that looked like that.
Right after that, they showed that was it the Plucky Squire, and I was like, "That just
Plucky Squire."
That reminds me of like Paper Mario with some of the mechanics. I'm like,
"Oh yeah." Game looks great, and then you get Foamstars.
Yeah.
Which looks amazing. No, I'm a big fan of Splatoon, so I will mess around with this for 15 minutes.
I'm gonna say you'll
right,
play
that's
it
what I'm
for 5
wondering.
minutes, uninstall it, and go, yeah, guys, it was for me.
Dude, it's a game.
The same. Yeah, they're even using the same weaponry.
Exactly.
From Splatoon. Like they're not even trying.
Little on the nose, right? They weren't even trying to hide it.
I'm gonna jump in here
anybody...
real quick.
Go ahead, Dave.
I just want to welcome out over 70 people that are here in the chat. Thank you all for being here. Wondering Dutch, Fun Speculation, Trey Bone, Tafo, Punny. There's just so many other Aussie fan. Jim Ryan's first party GoFundMe account. We really great.
That guy, when I first read that, I got a chuckle.
Yeah,
I got a good chuckle out of that one.
Yeah, Jim really seems to like our show a lot. Thanks, Jim. We appreciate you coming in.
He likes it more.
In fact, here's one of his. Retro, let you read that first one he made.
Jim Ryan. Do y'all think I looked handsome on the showcase this week, guys and gals? No, Jim. Actually, here's a pointer: stay the f off the show and get literally anyone else who has a pulse to show their face. Literally,
I will say he did look better than when he was
usual,
or when he showed the PlayStation 5 logo at like CES. Definitely an
he was very awkward.
He was very
awkward when he showed the PS5 logo. Honestly, I thought when Herman Hulse got the promotion, I thought he would be the guy, like the spokesperson at the event.
Yeah.
He speaks multiple languages. He's always been at these these events.
More charisma, right?
He definitely has. Like I always looked at him as like Andrew House.
Yeah,
in a sense, like 2.0. If not, you can call him Sean Layton 2.0 in many ways because he has that type of presence. But apparently not. According to Sony, I guess they feel that Jim is just that guy. But it is what it is. Jim he sucks at PR, and that's not me throwing jabs up. He's just not the greatest when it comes to PR. Like even when he's like advertising controllers and headsets. I remember that picture when he had the PlayStation headset on in the game. I'm like, Jim, I can tell by the way you're holding that controller, you have never played a video game in your life. I can tell.
It's like when you watch people on like movies or TV shows pretending to play a video game and holding the controller absolutely wrong, and you're just like, I can't with it.
Well, it's kind of, you know what? Here's the thing, because like all these guys are suits. None of them except for like Phil. None of them really play.
Phil.
Yeah, except for Phil. Yep. And that's a real trouble. When it comes to Jim Ryan, it's not the fact that like he's bad at PR. Most of these C-suite guys are bad at talking into a camera because that means they have to be human for 5 minutes. When you take a look at like the PlayStation, the Nintendo president, Furukawa, right? Like that that man's video game was a hoop and a stick back in the day. That's what Jim Ryan. The thing about Jim is that he's up against, theoretically, if we're going to put it in a boxing match, he's up against someone who is phenomenal at PR. Say what you will about Phil Spencer, but the man, as someone who does it, for a living,
really good.
The man is really good at speaking into a mic, saying what he can say in just a second, and at the same time come off authentic. None of these guys
you're right.
can. Phil
Right.
can. I give him great props on that.
Does anybody remember the photo that they released it when Jim? I'm not sure if it was his Twitter or something where he was like, I have my PlayStation 5 in my entertainment center, and the system was sitting in his console upside down.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, it was. I think that was Herman Holtz. Yeah.
Was okay. I'm still like, oh wow,
that's funny.
That had to hurt.
They don't even know how to lie.
No.
Yeah.
Real talk.
I think there was a lot of other choices outside of him. I think just would have made sense, even for the PlayStation people. I don't even think they wanted to see him there. You know what I mean? Like, there's just no reason to show Jim's face. You know
I mean, at the end of the day, like I don't give a shit about any. Again, I don't give a shit about any of
show
these
up and
dudes.
talk.
Yeah,
Yeah,
all I
you
care
don't
about
need
is the
to. It's
games. If you just give me the games, we're good. Like,
Yeah.
but,
It's really about weird pageantry at this point. It's just like
Mhm.
it's like passed down from generation to generation. It's just something that they've always done, so they keep on doing. But yeah, again, he can't speak to much, but you don't have to. The one thing I'll always combat, and it's not like I'm defending Jim Ryan because again, I don't give a shit.
I mean, the guy
It's
knows
like you
what
don't
he's
have to
doing.
be you don't have
Not
to
an
be a
idiot.
gamer to run a
Yeah.
business. Most of these
Absolutely.
CEOs, most
I
of these
back that up
C-suite guys do
100%.
not know what they are actually selling you.
Yeah.
None of them.
Yeah.
None of them.
Yeah.
Tim Cook is no Steve Jobs, but Tim Cook has made Apple the most profitable it's ever been. Right.
Yep.
So like most of these guys,
Facts.
they don't know what they're selling. They're just selling stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't really. I mean, it's cool that Phil is a gamer, but at the end of the day, I don't actually give a shit that Phil's a gamer. It's just it's just cool. You know what I
And
mean?
we're
That
in
he's
luck.
like
Right, just ice
one of
on the
us.
cake. At least he knows he's one of y'all.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Yeah.
exactly. That's the other thing. We're in luck too that like Phil and like Sarah are kind of have the keys to this thing because it seems like they genuinely care. And you can't say that about anyone else outside of like they're the closest thing that I think the Western audience has to like an Iwata like figure. Like this person cared about it and
good call.
has some type of eye towards it. So yeah.
Fuck you.
Jim Ryan's first party. Mark you. We having Foamstars party at the CMA this weekend. Shaun, I love you, dude.
I wonder who this guy really is.
He's great.
Imagine a
Yeah,
collector's
he's
edition
awesome.
for that. You get like you get a vial full of foam.
Oh wow.
Jim Ryan, tell us how you really feel about Forspoken, please.
Exactly.
It's trash.
Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. Is it moving the needle for anyone in this room? Is that
It
something you guys
looks
are excited
great.
for?
Yeah, we're excited for it, but it's just not enough. You know what I mean? It looks great. I can't wait to see. We ain't get no gameplay, obviously, for it, but you know, they did say also we're getting remasters. I think it's of 1, 2,
3, right?
And 3.
Was it 1, 2?
It's
then
part
a
1.
mystery
It's
game.
the master collection, yeah.
So they're getting that. They didn't rule out like another volume, so they didn't rule out 4 and all that stuff. But one could hope because Metal Gear Solid 4 is literally held hostage on PlayStation 3, and it really needs to be either remade or given a remaster to PS5, which again Sony's never is going to do at this point. It feels like, and it's unfortunate. It's very, very unfortunate.
Right.
Yeah.
But real talk, and I got shit
ahead.
on this for Twitter. First off, guys, I've made it. I am finally the PlayStation fanboys found me.
Congratulations.
One of them, because I was like, hey, listen, go to like, I gotta confess, I never played Metal Gear Solid. It's in my pile of shame. And when I say I never played it,
That's okay.
I've never gotten into it. Like I
Never
actually played Snake Eater as a kid.
Mhm.
But I was like, what? I get hot and cold and I gotta eat. This is fucking dumb. I can't control this worth a damn. Metal Gear Solid 4, I watched my brother play. And then like Phantom Pain, I tried for a minute and I was like, this is a 45-minute cutscene. I'm kind of out. If this is more like this, I can't really deal. But that said, someone quote tweeted me. He's like, how do you host a PlayStation podcast if you have never played a Metal Gear Solid? I was 11, and they're like, that's no
That's no excuse.
They're like, that's no
11.
excuse. They go, I think something where
You got to
along the
hand
lines
in
of
your
like,
gamer card, eh? Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never played them either.
they're like, there's people that
There's
played
so
it
many
younger.
games I haven't played. It's not even funny. So
I'm like,
Yeah.
it's
someone
not like we can play every game.
It's like there's people that played it at a younger age. I'm like, what? I want to meet
Okay.
that boring ass
Bad parents,
9-year-old.
bad parenting.
Yeah, bad parenting and just my 9-year-old ass never sat down and go, I want a spy political espionage thriller, to sink my teeth into.
Right.
Like, no,
Yeah.
Joe was thinking about like playing Kingdom Hearts like a normal 11-year-old.
Mario Kart, yeah. All of those
Yeah,
sort of
Mario
games that you
Kart.
don't really have to like really put your mind to.
So that said,
Blah, blah,
as now I am a grown adult man, as that's what my birth certificate says, it reminds me of. I'm like, and I love Death Stranding. Unabashedly, I love Death Stranding so much.
Yep.
So that being my first Kojima joint, I am all in on this collection. All in.
Oh,
Can't
nice.
wait.
Okay.
I was actually hunting for it earlier that day for my PS3. So, yeah.
Excellent.
RHETRI, if you don't mind,
Yeah.
so we're kind of at the halfway mark.
Sure.
I'd like to, if it's possible, to go ahead and we'll skip the part about what was missing at the showcase because we pretty much
Whole
kind of
lot.
hacked that.
Yeah.
But
Whole lot.
There's a lot.
Yep.
The big question, I guess, which
PlayStation was missing.
yeah, well, there you go. This one, I'll let you read it out, but it's something when you pick somebody to start on.
So this is kind of goes side and side with the missing games. Do you guys? There's been the whole thing about Sony holding games back from this showcase. Does anyone buy that? Does anyone think like to be honest, I was shocked. I didn't see something from like Silent Hill or Sucker Punch. Definitely Twisted Metal shocked me. That Twisted Metal was the one I was really actually looking forward to, besides Spider-Man. Does anyone here think that they're going to just show a lot of this stuff at like the summer showcase, or do you think this is all BS? Go ahead.
I think it's BS in a sense because this is your showcase.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This is your time to shine. You opted to go first to show off your stuff before Microsoft. So in hindsight, this is where you show your big guns. You don't show this at no other showcase and be like,
Right.
we held this back for other reasons. No, it's called first impressions. First impressions are everything. And when you put on a show this bad, in a sense, for your first party, like the fact that there wasn't no updates for Blue Point, there was no update on Wolverine, even though I might be asking for much, but here's the thing. A cinematic trailer to end the show off with Wolverine would have been fine.
Yes.
Nobody would have complained. I'm not saying it had to be like gameplay. I'm not saying it had to be this, that, and the third. No, you could have just shown like part 2 of what happened after the bar scene. You know what I mean? Like where there was blood and guts everywhere, and the dude pulled up to him, and guess what? We thought it was an enemy or something like that. Ended up being Charles Xavier. Boom, cut, Wolverine. You know what I'm saying? Like you could have done something like that. But no, there's a lot of stuff that was missing at this show. A lot. And I really felt like they just lost the point. But at the same time, I kind of get it. They're so late. They've gotten to this point where they don't have to try as much. You know what I mean? Like it's been so one-sided for them for so long and you have a community that doesn't want to like call out basic stuff. I've called out like, the fact that we don't even have custom themes. We got controllers with stick drift, and you'll have the elitists come at you and attack you. Go, oh, my controller's fine, so it didn't happen. I'm like,
right,
bro, no,
Yep.
It's happening, and that puts fear into that Q device. Have they even addressed the analog sticks? Because what happens when the analog sticks start to drift? You can't take it apart.
You just saw in half your PlayStation controller and duct tape it on.
Yeah, they got the
Exactly
solution
what
right
they
there.
did.
Red Panda, I mean, come on, she's got it. She's actually on the QA
She
team.
already knew the answer.
Yeah.
She's
Are you
like,
on
do
the board?
exactly what they did in the first place. Just
Get some
stick
super mighty. We need some super mighty Zelda glue. There you go. You fixed it.
we do have the poll question up too. That's what you think the price is going to be. That's up a poll. If
Of
you
the
guys,
PU.
anybody wants to, yep, on the
Mm.
queue. So anybody wants to jump on that?
If they're smart, they would go. The highest that thing will go is like 300. The highest. If they're
Yeah,
smart.
that seems like the high. Yeah, on the high end.
If it's past that and it's in the $400
no way.
price range, like getting close to that $400 price, I'm talking even 350.
Yeah,
I think this thing is done.
I was looking at the
Arrival.
price point for like a DualSense controller in New Zealand is $124. The DualSense Edge is $400 here, and I was like, maybe some middle ground between there, like maybe max 300 New Zealand dollars would be where it's at. But if you're saying 300 like US dollars, I'd be like, no, that's dead on arrival in this country.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So
I think it's dead
don't
on
know.
arrival anyways, personally, just because of what it is. But
It just smells, guys.
like
Let me
$300.
It's not just that though. It just feels like an afterthought that was just thrown into this show. You know what I mean? Like there was no build up towards this at all. Like I know it's like when we got the PS5 console review. Remember how they did the crazy build up towards it? We saw games, we saw this. You know, they kept teasing you with the marbles or whatever, like turning colors and then making the symbols. There was no real build up to this thing. They just was like, yeah, we got this. Come
It's
on,
the
buy
pacing,
it. We know you
though.
want to buy it. We know you
They
want to
pushed
buy it.
everything to the end of the show, right? Everything
Yeah.
that they really wanted to talk about to the end of the show. So the pacing was just not there.
Yeah.
To say, though, that they're holding back on games, we know there are studios that haven't announced games on the PlayStation side for first party. They're not ready to announce. But because it's a PlayStation showcase, they called it a PlayStation showcase. It's not a state of play. You have to show up. You can't be pushing your first party onto other gaming showcases.
Yep.
Like to say that that's happening, they may have one game there, but like, why would you not give it to people who are going to sit there and watch that? Not every PlayStation gamer may watch Summer of Game Fest, like Jeff Keighley's show, but everyone's tuning in to go to your showcase where you're showing the games, where you're giving them the roadmap, and it's just really disappointing. So I definitely agree with your point there, BitCloud, but I kind of disagree with they don't have to compete. Mainly because of the whole ABK arguments that PlayStation was coming out and saying, like
that's the
mindset
they've been having. Like it's been so one sided for them that they don't feel.
I get that. I agree with that side of it. But the point of them going and saying like they won't be able to compete, it's going to impact their bottom line, and all this other stuff. Like this is why you do show up and go, we don't care about this ABK deal. This is why you choose to come to us first. Right. Doesn't matter what's happening over here. Ignore what's happening on the Xbox side. We're going to make you focus only on PlayStation moving forward and just kind of like drown out the noise. And they weren't there for that. So I feel like if you're putting games on other showcases right after your showcase, that's a massive L.
Wow.
So I think that whole argument of going, they're waiting, they're going to show it at this is BS. I really do. I think it's people trying to cope and come to terms with a disappointing showcase. Yeah.
I want to address Special Nick in the chat going, Christ, Joe, you're a psycho. No, Nick, listen, first off, I was on Xbox Era as well. I've been on all the shows this week. Name a show I haven't been on. No, Nick, this is therapy. I'm talking out my feelings. And I
love it.
Oh. No,
that's too funny.
Yeah, no. I'm sorry, what was the question?
Well, I know. I had to think about it with my ADHD. I forgot.
Right,
did they hold back? Did they hold back? Yeah.
Well, does it matter?
I don't know. That's I don't think it matters.
Like,
does it matter?
Because like I know like there's now like there's a lot of talk of like, oh, don't worry, there's another showcase. Well, of course, there's 2 more quarters here. Of course, they're gonna have 2 more state of plays. Like at least you're gonna have one about the hardware that's in probably August, right? When they push Spider-Man out there and give you the release date, and then they give you one like in around October, November, right? Like around that time. So like, of course, there's gonna be 2 more states of plays, but that doesn't change the fact that what we have right now doesn't matter. If you know, I'm a broken record, and this is my therapy, but like if the excuse is or if you're walking out of this going, well, there's got to be another one, then this one sucked.
Probably
like
in August.
I mean,
you got a good point there.
It does. Like,
you have to
it
ask for the other one.
It's just
it's a
problem. It's sad. It's just sad. Like if
Yeah.
this was Xbox Showcase, you already know it would have been like World War Z
It
on
would've been
Twitter. That's why I don't
We'd
like the
have-
consistency.
we'd have Phil Spencer's resignation right here, right now, if that was the
Exactly.
case.
Like I don't like the lack of energy that I see personally going.
But I
around
mean,
for it.
it's something that Colin said on ILP that was revealing. I mean, it's not revealing. It's the truth. It's like PlayStation 5 selling the most it's ever been. It's outpacing the PlayStation 4. You're seeing it month in, month out. So there is something that genuinely, I'm not saying this as like PlayStation Defense Force. There is something that we are missing here that the casual audience is in tune with, and I'm legitimately trying to find out what that is.
What it is.
I think it's part of its brand strength, and I think part of it is partnering with a lot of third-party publishers that, like, I mean, having Spider-Man don't hurt, having Wolverine don't hurt, even when the game never comes out. You know, partnering things with things like Star Wars doesn't hurt either.
Yeah.
We'll see what Microsoft's, not to say response or clap back is, but I want to see what Microsoft Showcase looks like, because this is another theory. I mean, theory crafting
at
now.
this point, it's a layup. All they gotta do is just show Gears. All they gotta do is show gameplay for Avowed.
They just gotta walk into the goddamn room, and they got the. But here's my theory crafting, and again, this is a thought that is not thought through. I'm talking it out with you guys.
Don't safeguard
I'm not
yourself.
saying something to be inflammatory. I want to see what the Xbox Showcase looks like. If it is mostly things that are on Game Pass, if it is mostly first party, that's going to be the telling thing, because then you could kind of see, all right, Ubisoft probably wants to work with PlayStation more because PlayStation's more in tune with how they usually sell their games, right? It's through, again, you going out there and buying the game. So like, is PlayStation having an easier time maybe acquiring said deals because they're not, they're not shaking up the status quo as much as Xbox is. And maybe that's where these strategies are remotely different, where PlayStation can actually rely on third-party partners to push out, PlayStation specific versions of like Assassin's Creed that give you all the PlayStation gimmicks, or make it seem like it's almost a PlayStation exclusive when we know it's not. And Xbox is focusing on, hey, these are the games we can get on Game Pass.
Yep. I mean, Ubisoft kind of has lost the point for a while. They've been on like a weird trajectory with me. Like some games hit, some games just been absolutely terrible. Assassin's Creed was like really low, and then they show Mirage, and now I'm kind of interested in getting back into it. I don't know, but we'll see. Honestly, it's only a matter of time. We just need those wow moments. If Microsoft can bring the wow moments, like if Avowed really does deliver, if they got like a demo for Gears 5. Et cetera, or that type of stuff is going to get people talking.
Well, Xbox got called out. What was it last year, and even this year as well, and in past years, not for having gameplay, not for being clear on how the game is captured and all of that. And I feel like that interview where we saw Phil kind of talk about, like, we've heard what you guys are saying, so I expect a lot more gameplay and a lot more clarity around what they're capturing the gameplay on and such. So that might it's that messaging piece and being transparent, and like there were lots of no one had any idea what some of the devices were or platforms that the games were captured on. Some said captured on PC. On the PlayStation Showcase, many didn't tell you whatsoever, or even just an engine or anything. So it's just messaging, and we want that clarity as gamers to know like what we're getting ourselves into. Yeah.
I will say this though, shout out to Insomniac. That is PlayStation's crown jewel.
You just know
it.
You know what Wolverine 100%. Is going to be is going to be fire.
Like Naughty Dog has fallen off, in my honest opinion, a few notches after just in the few years since. Yeah, this has been like they've been
cursed by terrible PR. Of themselves today.
Different level, dude.
No, they've been it's just been weird PR that's been hurting Naughty Dog, like from leaks for them having now it's a delay, quote unquote delay, factions. Yeah, and people actually believe it's going to be canceled. You know, a lot of people are saying canceled.
Well,
and I'm
that's my
like,
next question. Let's get right into that.
Sure.
Factions. We'll just kind of rip the Band-Aid off on
Well,
that.
we'll get to that in
Factions
just
too.
one second. Hold on, hold
All
on,
right.
hold
Go
on.
ahead, Dave.
Just want to say that the one thing that I'm thinking that to keep in mind is that did they hold something back? They definitely held something for the Keeley's show coming up next
that's
week.
Death
what I'm
Stranding.
wondering.
I think
Yeah,
that's Death
so-
Stranding.
That's one. That's yeah.
Right, but
We'll talk. I don't think so.
You don't think it's
That's
Death
how
Stranding gameplay?
That's
for
how
Killers?
pessimistic I am.
well, maybe
just,
Death Stranding is all the way to the to the end of the year to the reward show. You know,
It's
maybe,
been-
maybe
Yeah.
that's when he's going to do that.
I
That's
just
true,
can't
yeah.
remember. Binge Studios, are they being a support studio at the moment? Because I know they're
No.
what they were working
No,
on
they should
got
be working on
stopped.
another
They-
IP
they-
right now.
They've been
Not
working
Days
on their
Gone
own.
too, right?
Yeah, they've been having their
Yeah.
own IP for a while now. It's just
Okay,
we've never
good.
seen it.
Because
And
there were all those rumors before,
I see.
about
Yeah.
what's
Right.
happening with them.
of course, you know
And
the rumor that's quote unquote breaking the internet. Sony might be looking to buy CD
Oh,
Projekt Red.
Jesus.
Hey,
Not
let's
happening.
go.
Yeah.
That's not
Are you
happening.
guys on
Listen.
board
April
with
Fool's,
that?
right?
Yes, I'll believe that rumor. You know, I'll definitely believe it. You know, there's so many. It
Yeah.
was just funny. Like
Yeah.
I don't mean to backtrack, but going back to the showcase just a little bit here.
Go ahead.
The dudes who act like they had all the knowledge going into the show, you know what I'm talking about.
Insiders.
They were sitting there
Yep.
acting like they got all the releases. They was like, this is gonna happen. They were talking about how there's gonna be a game announcement that's gonna steal the thunder from Spider-Man. I'm like, really? Okay. Dudes sharing in my Discord,
Well-
and we get to the showcase, and
Well,
they over here apologizing. Well, you know, I take responsibility. I should have never hyped you guys up. I tell you what, get blocked. That's
Get
what my
blocked.
reaction. Get
listen,
blocked.
to that, not to give credit to these a-holes, but their Bungie sales did put out a tweet mentioning that Bungie's marathon actually got more plays than Spider-Man 2, which was
did.
impressive.
I
I don't
mean,
know.
it's
I don't
still-
know what if it's updated. That was the first 24 hours.
It's
so
from
it's
a
probably
team
different
that
now,
made a successful third-party game, so I'm not surprised
Yeah.
at all that Marathon is like one of the most talked about games out right now. But the fact that it did
Mhm.
outdo Spider-Man, that
That's
says
impressive.
something. That says a lot
that,
about
that
business.
game's
That
going to be a
says-
goddamn monster. If it
It-
hits, it's going to be a goddamn monster.
Because
And
there's
let me
3
tell you something.
marathon
It's
games,
cool. It looks
right?
cool for the concept. It has a really cool concept.
Every time I look at that trailer, this is why I'm not opposed to CG trailers. If you give me the vibe, I'm in.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
more I look at that trailer and I saw the vid doc, I am so day one on this.
Mhm. The custom
Bungie
like
doesn't miss.
guns, the androids. It looks like you're gonna be playing as like that's
Cus-
cool.
Yeah, the
It's a lot of
customized
mysterious.
androids is what
Yeah.
got me excited. Like
That's very
making your own
mysterious.
like cyberpunk-ish android is what
Yeah.
kind of moved the needle for me because I watched the vid doc today as well, which I
Yeah.
thought was pretty good.
It, it works with some games. It just doesn't work with all games. Like look at Fair Games.
Yeah.
Fair Games
Yeah,
made by Haven
bingo.
Studios. That right
That's
there.
what I'm worried about that one.
That one doesn't
I
give
don't-
you as much context as you want. It looks like Watch Dogs
I'm worried
mixed
about
with
that. Yeah.
Payday. But
Yes.
sorry about it.
Yeah.
No, I like what Crispy said, but like, with Marathon, it brings me days of like the 90s or early 2000s. My brother was literally like building a Hackintosh so that him and his friends could play Marathon. Like, it's like there's some really good memories attached to Marathon of like this gem
Yeah,
that I
I
was
just
wasn't
wonder,
aware
like,
of or wasn't
A lot
able
of
to play.
people does it because Marathon the name I don't feel like moves the needle. Like I don't think
Mm-hmm.
anyone 99% of people have no effing clue Marathon was an old school
Unless
Bungie
it's
game in
Project.
1994.
No one knew, yeah.
You know what
It's
I mean?
kind of like akin to like when people are excited about Secret Wars. Most
Yeah.
people
Bingo.
don't really know what Secret Wars is, but they've heard from
Yeah.
their friends from a friend. Oh,
Yeah.
Secret Wars is the shit. You know.
I mean, unless this
Yeah.
game, unless that's the project name, like it's Project Marathon, and then we'll get to, like a name that they settled on. Like remember how they did that with what's that game that just dropped from PlayStation? It's that
Project
Forspoken.
Athea
Yeah.
was
Forspoken.
Project
Game of the
Athea
year
at the
Forspoken,
time,
please.
right?
Yeah. Forspoken was
Who's
another
it?
name. What was the name? What was that? Something? It was something else before that.
Oh,
Project
yeah.
Athea.
there you go.
Project
After,
yeah. So that's what I'm
Very
saying.
good.
Like, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Game of the Year.
Retri, let's read the super chat real quick before it gets too
Sure.
far.
I
away
wanted
from
to talk
James
about
Shark.
this. Yeah.
$5 super chat. Where's the calls for Jim Ryan his resignation? Where's the media outrage for all the mismanaged studios and projects hypocrisy? Well,
So-
listen, let me start with that. The idiots who said that about Phil, they're idiots. And no
Yep.
offense to anyone who thinks this about Jim Ryan, you might be an idiot too. Like the
Yep.
guy is making record profits. You don't ignore that. You can't ignore that. So
Yeah.
like Jim Ryan might not be the guy with the sticks in his hands playing games like, P3 is, but he's making a boatload of money for that company.
Yeah.
He ain't
Yeah.
going anywhere, guys. So any people who are calling out for people's jobs when they're all doing well, nobody's doing bad. Even third place is killing it. Like it's just kind of ridiculous to me. Sorry, bad bit. Cloud.
No,
Go
I
ahead.
wanted to tackle this because this is actually a problem I have with Microsoft.
Yep.
With Microsoft, so it's a blessing and a curse for Microsoft. Microsoft talks so much to its community, and I'm so they talk so well to them. Like they understand where they are and how much their community means to them. They're really in sync with them. At the same exact time, Phil, I love you. You didn't need to do that kind of funny interview. You talk
he
too
definitely
much.
Did not. He
Mhm.
definitely did
You
not.
overshare, right? So like there are some
Sometimes
things.
silence
too
is
much
key.
on that one.
Yeah, sometimes silence is key. And why Madonna or what is it? Or Streisand affect it,
Yep.
right? By saying it out loud, it's then reality, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
manifesting
Again,
itself, right.
I love the insights out of that Phil interview. But how did y'all feel as Xbox fans? And this is from a Sony guy looking outside, looking in. Y'all seemed defeated that week, like defeated. And that sucks for me because it felt like all the energy for your brand was out the door. So anybody calling for anyone's job is a dummy.
Yeah, like
I don't
everybody-
know
Yeah.
how.
Yeah.
I don't know what like Phil does on the day to day, but it's like I can't even comprehend it. So I shouldn't judge as much. It's not like, for example, this would be a different story if Xbox wasn't doing good, which they're doing great. If their games weren't doing good critically, which for the most part they are. And if the games weren't performing well, and guess what? They are. So like
Right.
Phil doesn't need to, whatever, resign. When it comes to Jim Ryan, what would you, real talk, if it wasn't for Jason Schreier, would you really know what's going on right now?
Exactly.
And do you
No.
actually really know what's going on right now?
No.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Do you know the
was
real
some-
inside baseball?
Yeah,
Not
because, like,
really.
real talk,
we only
yeah,
know what we're told.
Yeah, when it comes to like the thing like of Naughty Dog, we only somewhat know that Bungie came in and they saw something, right?
Yeah.
And
Or
they saw
didn't see
something they didn't like.
liked.
Yeah, they didn't see
Right.
something they liked. Now I'm gonna clue you guys in on something. All right, ready for this? That
Yeah, spill
game,
it.
The Last of Us multiplayer game's been in production for over 4 years now.
Yep.
Mhm.
It's
Yep.
been pretty rough. So one would say this may not be the first time the project's been rebooted.
Mm-hmm.
So at this point,
Yeah.
you're right. It is a failure of management. What would you want? Would you want them to carry on through with this game, or would you like it to be cut loose and so that Naughty Dog could go out there and make something better? What would you want? I would
Obviously,
say
want the better product.
I want the better product.
It needs to be the next Scalebound. Just scrap it and start something fresh.
Panda,
Ex-
yeah.
Exactly. Start somewhere fresh.
The
Maybe
scale
put it
down
on The
reference,
Last of
love
Us
it.
Part 3. Whatever you do.
You know,
But like
Babbitt,
it's not the end of the world. None of these guys are losing their jobs anytime
Nope.
soon when their profits are
No.
soaring.
not Babbitt. You know, this brings
Yep.
up a conversation with me and you had a
great question.
while ago on Boom Show.
Yep.
How when dudes were saying, they want Xbox to leave. If Xbox
Mhm.
left, the state of play that we got
Bad news for
this
everybody.
week, guess what? It's going to be
That's it.
the standard state of play you're going to get, period, because there's no competition.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep.
That's going to be arrogant
Amen.
PlayStation. You don't want that.
Absolutely, Big
And
Bob.
then that's the funny thing. A lot of people don't understand that. They don't want to listen. They don't want to listen to any reason. They want to think that, it's just Sony. No, there are factors that push Sony to be the best as it is. PS4 generation, PS3 as well. PS3, Sony was really like hustling. They were throwing out games left and right. If they didn't have Microsoft to begin with, you wouldn't have got those amount of games. I'm telling you right now, you wouldn't have gotten that.
Mm.
So like to me, it's like, yeah, who, like, real talk, who cares what like Game Rant thinks about like Phil Spencer's interview? It's like, to me,
Yeah.
these companies are smarter when they say things with meaning and planning behind
Yep.
it. So to me, it's like, again, anybody calling for Phil's resignation is silly. I
Yeah.
just think PlayStation talks too little and Xbox talks too much, and we get these weird things. And at the same exact time, I think one of the reasons why it kind of sucks right now is both of these companies are in legal situations where they're both not
Mhm.
trying to, portray a certain
Poke the bear.
strength. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's this weird thing that like I really wish we were over already.
We're in this weird limbo
Ugh,
right
and
now, eh? We're stuck between
we
a rock
are.
and a hard place, and we're like, it was like at the beginning of the generation when you were waiting to see who was going to blink first on dropping the price of their consoles, and it's like, who's going to blink first on when the hell is this generation starting?
I mean, and I'll go back to this one comment I just see. That's not the problem. The problem is clear media bias. Y'all, listen.
Yeah. To stop this.
Listen,
yeah, stop this.
This ain't CNN. This isn't. This
Definitely
isn't.
not.
This isn't. This isn't MSNBC, Fox News. This is a real world. This shit don't matter that much, right? Like you take a look at look at any type of hardware space, right? You got like Android Central, you got like Mac rumors, you got like Windows Central, like all this stuff. Like just clearly, like we're staying to our niches. There's no media bias as to the reasons as to why companies are where they are right now. It's just because of the certain performances, what they've done. You know, it's not media bias. IGN ain't selling a PS5, and and real talk, at heart to heart here, guys. I've not met a single person that works at IGN, GameSpot, Game Informer that gives a flying fuck. I forgot if I can't curse about it.
You're good.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they don't give a flying fuck.
You're
I can
safe.
tell you for a fact they do not care.
They just want good games and on the timely release.
And they just don't want you to yell at them when you review them. It's really that simple. It's really that simple.
Yeah.
The only bias that like the media has, and this is the true bias here, they're all afraid. The big sites are they're all afraid to they're all pulling their punches because they do not want to lose access. What matters to IGN the most is that they
create the bias, though. I mean, doesn't literally create bias.
That's what the bias is, though. So, like, the bias is we're going to hold back because we don't want Microsoft to withhold something from us, right? Or we don't want PlayStation to withhold something from us. We don't want Nintendo to withhold something from us. So, what we'll do is when we talk about things or talk about stories that are breaking, they let other sites break them. So that's their protective shield, right? It's probably the reason why people lost, enthusiasm for IGN shows, because they all kind of play it safe. You want someone to say something with some meaning, and you're not seemingly getting it there. So the problem with the big sites is that they're all kind of just doing, and this is the thing I constantly hear from all of them. We're just doing the big companies' PR for them. And guess what, gang? The reason why everything is changing right here, right now in front of our eyes, the reason why you're seeing so many people lose their jobs is because Microsoft, PlayStation, 2K, you name them, have all realized, oh, we can just do it ourselves.
Yep.
We pull the traction in anyway. Let's just do it ourselves. That's why PlayStation always directs you to a blog post. That's why Microsoft always directs you to a Wired article, right?
Yep.
Nintendo probably the only one that doesn't do that, but their PR is crazy strange. So like the media bias is that they're truly just doing the marketing for bigger companies.
Yeah, but like some of the clickbait articles are not necessary. I know why they want them through the channel, like the one about the PlayStation showcase they were missing some stuff, but it was basically perfect. That was fucking bullshit. That was Games Radar. That was utter crap. You're always going to have outliers, and they need to be torn to shreds.
So that's basically bootlicking, so you don't miss out on any upcoming stuff.
And those people need to be called out and torn to shreds, because that stuff is crap.
And that stuff.
I think that's what we're talking about. I think that's what people, when they're talking about bias, they're talking about Kotaku's, they're talking about Game Rants, and just the astronomical.
To be fair, no one takes Kotaku serious.
I know. Yeah, I know. It's ridiculous. You know,
like,
it is ridiculous that we even have to bring them up.
Today.
So Kotaku heard the last little bit of their irrelevance when they actually followed a fake account. Yeah, I remember with the check mark where he made like a fake check mark. He said, "Hey guys, Halo Infinite is delayed," and this dude didn't even check the source. He just immediately went and made an article.
And that's the other problem. Real talk. It's all SEO. That's all it is. It's
Yeah.
SEO, SEO, SEO. Kotaku, that's the reason why they're so toxic now, is like, what's going to help us SEO wise?
Exactly.
Zelda,
I mean,
okay,
it
we can't
works.
get previews for Zelda. Well, how do we still maintain or be in the conversation about Zelda if we don't have the content to talk about Zelda? We'll talk
Mhm.
about the things that are getting spoiled and leaked, and we'll tell you
Yep.
everything. So you hate click, or you just click in general to find out, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
A lot of it comes down to everything's boiling down to SEO and doing PR for other companies.
Yep.
Yeah. My
That's
advice
what it is.
don't
And when it
hate
comes to
click,
the smaller
guys.
sites like
Don't
Game
hate
Rant,
click.
SEO is all about traction.
yeah,
So if it's negativity sells.
Yep.
That's basically what it
Way
is.
better.
Negativity sells.
I come from 19 years of working in television, and
Oh, there you
dudes,
go.
if it bleeds, it
Controversy
leads.
sells.
We
Yeah.
know it works.
Yeah,
It
controversy,
works.
And, like,
negativity sells.
Crazy.
when you take a look at Xbox, it's like there are two conflicting stories that you can tell at the same exact time. This is actually something we were talking about on Xbox era. It's the everybody loves an underdog, and then everybody
Bingo.
loves the if it bleeds, it leads. So like when
Yep.
Microsoft messes up,
So you get
oh,
both.
it's amplified. Or if Microsoft does something good, it's amplified because both
Mhm.
sides are just again bleeds, it leads,
Yeah.
and underdog. It
Mhm.
is
It
what
works.
it is.
I want
It
to
works.
go ahead and throw this super chat up here, and Retro, if you don't
Go
mind
for
reading
it.
that for us. From
Absolutely. Mr.
Mr.
Joanna
Jonathan.
Dark, what's up, brother? Could we see a scenario where Spider-Man 2 is delayed till 2024? Could
Nope.
Sony be waiting to see how Starfield is received on June 11th, then give a date?
Nope.
Go ahead, Pano, rip it
No.
out. What do you think?
No, Spider-Man's not
2024
getting
maybe?
delayed. That's not getting delayed.
No.
I think like because they're saying fall, I think the most delay will probably be till like end of year November. Yeah, I don't think it's probably going to be delayed into 2024. There's always a risk of anything like that. Any game could still be delayed, but I highly think if they're
Mhm.
going to delay it, it's going to be to like November. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm
Generally,
thinking November as well.
PlayStation
What do
doesn't
you
think about Xbox that much.
No, they
Like
don't.
genuinely,
Yeah.
they don't. They
Mhm.
really just care about, hey, we still how do we maintain this? How do we get your mind share? How do we get you to keep thinking about us? That's all they
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
give a shit about.
Yeah. Have to agree with that. Yeah. I mean, it's Insomniac too. I just, they get their timetables, they get their games
are
done
solid.
in the quickest fashion I've ever seen. It's unreal. They're
I mean,
unreal
that's
at
why
what they
PlayStation.
do.
I mean, PlayStation doesn't even need Starfield anymore because they're buying CD Projekt Red. So.
That's what
And
Concord is.
Take-Two.
Concord is Starfield. Yeah.
A part of me, if let's just say it comes out true, which it's not. God, I hate that I would eat so much shit, you know, for saying it publicly. It's not happening, y'all. Just
it's
just
Concord,
deflecting because you
yeah.
had a bad showcase.
This is the sad part.
believe
They look like the very thing by deflecting and doing all this damage control. They look like the very thing that like they accuse everybody else of being. They call them shills. They call them what do they call them? Damage controllers.
Corporate
They're doing
slaves.
the corporate slaves.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're doing the exact same thing. Like it's
Accusing
like,
them
bro,
of being paid by
just
the
be
company.
honest for once. You want to berate one side with not being honest? Okay, how about you be honest with yourself? The show,
Mhm.
Joe will tell you he's just as big as a PlayStation fan as I am. The show was ass. It's terrible. We can
Yeah.
do
For a
better
PlayStation show?
I think you
we-
guys like the show less than I did, which is a
Really?
little shocking. I really
because we have high expectations based on
Yes.
what we were
Yeah.
given.
I mean, I did
from
too.
State of Place.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm
I
saying?
mean-
yeah.
It's different when you go into these and you're kind of more invested. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
When
I
you've
mean,
been set
you
up
guys
with
live it.
great-
You guys are PlayStation guys, so I don't live it day in and day out. So your expectations were probably
Well,
off. very high.
Retri, I have a little thing
Yeah.
on the trophy room. It's known if there is a showcase that is loved, I didn't like it. If there is a showcase that is
You're
hated,
the
I
opposite
actually
guy.
loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this time around, you know, I kind of stick to my original number of like showcase overall games I'm going to play. Give it a solid 7. This is a Keeley joint, an 8. But as of right now, it's mediocre, so it's a 5.
Yeah.
Fair
Fair,
enough.
right in the middle.
Fair enough.
I explore that scale, y'all. I'm not afraid to use it.
I mean, you're
I'm not
not
just
afraid to
sticking to
go
the-
low.
Ah,
Yeah.
Nice. That's
Absolutely.
awesome. Well, I'd like to also welcome out to over 100 people that are in the chat right now. Thank you all so
Let's
much
go.
for being here, and we appreciate you so much. And we still got just a little bit more time. We won't keep these guys too long because I know Mr. Bad Bit and Bit Cloud have both been on several long shows today already.
Long day today.
We
Yeah.
very much appreciate their time, but like I said, I don't want them to regret coming on here. So thanks guys for being here for one thing, and then we'll kind of we'll jump to our next subject and kind of just wrap this up. Also, too, if you want, with this, like this is our first time doing like super chats, things like that. So, and we do have the channel membership, stuff like that. So that's kind of all new to us because we met our mark of the over 1,000 subscribers, and it's pretty exciting. And yeah, and we're really blessed to have on such a great guest as Red Dead Panda, Mr. Bad Bit and BitCloud Gaming. Thank you all so much for being here tonight. Just wanted to get that out of the way. But RHETRI, where we got to wrap things up?
Yeah, it's just a quick few things, some news items. I just wanted to get everyone's opinion about Alan Wake 2, which showed up at the showcase, which I'm very, very excited about personally. Will not have physical copies. Apparently, it's just going to be digital only, is going to sell for $60. I see Bad Bit shaking his head. I'm happy that I'm a physical guy, especially on the PlayStation side. I bought the $500 one, not the digital one, so I could save money because I'm cheap. I did that on purpose because I knew over the lifetime of the console, I would save a lot of money because physical, I can get them for like half price after X amount of months. What do you guys think about this trend? Because I'm starting to see it happen with some other games where they're just they're ignoring physical copies. Does this bother you? Do you care? Are you happy that it's $10 less? Does that matter to you? What are you guys' thoughts? I'm going to start with you, BitCloud. What do you think about Alan Wake being $60 and going digital only?
I mean, I'll start with the game first. The game looks phenomenal. I'm getting Until Dawn vibes from the visuals, so it looks really good.
Good call.
Loving what I'm seeing. To your point, so we actually talked about this on LB. Physical media in a way is definitely on its way out. We're seeing more and more companies do this. You know, Nintendo is no stranger to this, where they give you, just a code for a game, for these collector's editions. I can see this happening even further as well, especially with PlayStation's first party. You'll still have those collectible consoles, but you just won't get like a disc. You'll get like a little steelbook case, but that's about it. I do see it happening eventually there. And what's wild about it is, what's shocking is that a lot of people are not really fazed by this news. And here's why I said this. If you go on your PlayStation 5 or your Series X right now, I'm pretty damn sure there's a lot of games on your library that are digital. If not, most of your library is digital. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just how it is. Sometimes you just you grab those games on the store for these sales, Cyber Monday, so wherever the case may be, they'll have those crazy discount sales, and you'll go and buy them in bulks, and you're happy you have them on the folder. That's exactly how it is. So it's no surprise whatsoever that they're getting the hint, and they're all kind of like slowly phasing out physical. Now, there was actually a good question tagged on top of this, aside from just, the physical aspect. A lot of people think that maybe, because, it's $60, that this will lead to all games eventually going back to 60. The answer to that is
not
simple.
A chance.
No. The answer is no.
Not a chance in hell.
You're still going to have the shady, shiesty developer that will make a crappy port or a crappy game that'll give you little as much as possible and charge you as much as they can for the most they can. That's just going to happen. It's non-refutable at this point. You're going to have that still be a thing. It's still going to be a present on these consoles. So I don't see that going away or changing, that landscape changing at all. You're going to have more and more and more of that as we progress. But again, it does suck for those who have like those crazy, game collections like Alpha Omega Sun. I'll name him for one. He has like that crazy wall of games. It does suck that you are going to eventually see that fade away bit by bit, no pun intended, but it is going to come to that point. Yeah. So
I agree with everything you just said. Anyone else want to chime in on this? Anyone got some things to say?
Game prices ain't going down anytime soon because of digital. Listen, I like what they did here. It's kind of like hey, listen, we don't have the capacity to Epic to publish physical. So hey, here's a thing to get you get you a little less bummed out by that. It also probably tells you that games are maybe a tad bit smaller But
Yeah.
nonetheless, awesome. $50, great. Same with the Assassin's Creed Mirage that comes with PS5 upgrade. So all things good there. I think, and actually is something Jim Ryan said. I think we're going to see companies explore the scale a little bit with their game releases.
That'd be good.
Hey, does this game actually justify 70? Hey, would this game actually do better if it was 50? Look at Zelda, for example. There's no real excuse as to why that game is a $70 game, other than Nintendo decided to charge $70 for it, right? And what happened? 10 million copies in 2 days, which is a stupid amount. So, when it comes to digital stuff, it should be cheaper, but more profit for them. So it's nice that Remedy and Epic came up with this concoction. That being said, though, in a few years it's gonna be all over for physical. It gets me scared for the digital future, though. I'm not gonna lie. It's actually something I've warned about for a while now, and people called me crazy. One day these digital games are gone. How are we going to play them? And people are like, what do you mean gone? Well, I mean, look at what's happening with every other streaming service right now. They're literally terminating shows.
Exactly.
And listen, they're not the greatest. Like Runaways ain't great, but you're never going to be able to watch Runaways again.
Yep.
Never. Like, there's no reason why Disney Plus. In fact, Disney Plus needs content. I don't even know why they're taking rid of like shows like Willow. Sure, 60,000 people watch it. Who cares?
It was terrible.
Disney's
It's
Got
the,
better
uh,
towards the end. It did get better
For-
towards the end, but
Did it?
still.
Okay, I gave
For
it.
Willow, though, for something like that, there's a large amount of royalties and things they have to pay, residuals that are going to
Yeah, that's
continue.
true.
As
As
That's
long
a
as it
great
stays on the
point.
service, they have to continue to pay those, and that's why they're pulling it, moonlighting it, whatever you want to call it. And there's a possibility that something like that could also be released on. I know some people that do this kind of stuff. That it actually could be released on DVD, Blu-ray, those kind of things.
Make some of their money back.
Exactly, as another way to do that, and not to say that it won't ever come back. It could possibly come back for a couple of months here, pulled away for a couple of years, then come back again, that kind of thing. They could put in a rotation, but he's trying to cut like $1 billion in savings because of some of the things that they've been going up against their CEO. So that's basically why. But they're like, how can we cut costs? How can we do it fast? And that's one of the ways that they've decided to do it. Sorry to jump in.
Yeah, no.
No, that
That's a
was
great
awesome.
point.
I actually did not know any of that. So thank you for that info. It
I'm
still sucks. You could eat that billion, Jeff.
Yeah.
Exactly.
The man made a penis-sized, penis-shaped ship to go touch the moon or whatever. He could.
Yeah. I'm
What do you
not
think,
surprised
Panda? What do you-
about games going digital. PC's been like that for years. And I don't necessarily buy physical unless it's a game I really, really want, because I'm lazy now. Like, say for example, what Division 2 was on EA Play and it's come off EA Play, and so now I have to get up and put my disc in, and I'm like, I can't be asked. I'm gonna go play something else that's digital.
I love
Like,
it.
I'm just a reality. Like I've got the
That's
disc. I
great.
just now have to go get it and put it in, and I'm just like, I could just go play something else that's digital.
Oddly
but,
enough,
like,
Switch is like my last bastion for physical. If I'm buying a
Yes.
game on Switch,
physical is what I'm buying
Yeah.
on Switch as well. But like, for examples, like in New Zealand, with physical versus online sales for games, like you aren't allowed to drop the price of a digital version of that game until the price drops for physical. So like you have to wait for it like 6 months before you're allowed to drop the digital price and get a discount there. So it's a bit of a pain in the ass
Wow.
in New Zealand.
Don't like that.
And a lot of people choose to go by physical because it drops in price faster than digital does over here, just based on how the laws are. So I kind of get that, but I like to buy my collector's editions, and I wouldn't mind just like what you were saying, BitCloud, like getting a digital code to then install that game. Well, I can still go and get all those collector's editions of games.
PlayStation
and I
does
don't
that.
have and I don't have to I don't have to worry about a steelbook or anything like that. I don't mind getting the soundtracks. I love the soundtracks. Game, give me a soundtrack, please. But yeah, I feel like it's inevitable. I'm majority am on digital at the moment, and very rarely will I buy physical. And as you're saying, I would be buying Nintendo physical only at this stage. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm like the 1% for my PlayStation where I like to go physical. You know what I mean? I know I'm in the minority. I'm definitely aware. I mean, you saw this coming many years ago. I remember IGN doing a story about this 10 years ago, and we were like, why isn't digital $10 less? I mean, they've been saying it forever, and sometimes it works. I think it can work for Alan Wake. It sure as hell worked for Elden Ring. I mean, they just surpassed 20 million, so it can work, you know, make a great game, keep it at 60, and then maybe
Redfall
didn't
didn't
need to
need to
be
be 70.
You
The
would
only
think-
saving grace was
You would think
Game
Elden
Pass.
Ring would be embraced by so many, but then there was just like
it's
this
not.
weird fanboy cult that tried to like bring that game down. Remember that bad bit because like it wasn't exclusive. They're saying that From Software is overrated, but like they're hyping up Bloodborne remakes now.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
And it's like
Here's the thing,
It's
here's
like-
the thing that I really loved.
you do realize they made
I just
Bloodborne,
love
right?
Whiplash.
Right.
Here's the
They
thing
love-
that I
they love
really
Whiplash.
love, and then like after this, I really gotta go because
Yep.
real talk, y'all. I'm gonna be real. There's no like family emergency happening. Ice cream's coming, and I can't wait.
That's
So-
you're good.
I want to say this. Ice cream. So I want to say this. It's like the day before the showcase. This is what I love about the PlayStation Insiders. Okay, guys.
Oh, dude.
I just saw someone drop like the bomb emoji, and then just someone just going acquisition, and then today, and then everybody's like, "Who is it? Square? Honestly, do you
Mhm.
want Square? Not. And it's not the whole like you got the-
Foamstars?
Exactly. It's like they make Foamstars. Yeah, Final Fantasy is great, but like Foamstars. Anyway, not even the point. Not even the point because we feed into it. And then like today, right? Who said it? Who said that CD projects getting
CD.
purchased?
Yeah.
Who?
Jesus.
Oh, boy.
Real talk. Some chick by the name of Liz that leaks Destiny stuff. Probably
Destiny
spoke-
stuff, and she's leaked
Yeah.
that Days Gone 2 is still going on. So
And-
there you go.
We have the community manager. I
That's all
love
you need
his
to know.
response. The community manager of Bend just put out the gif of, and we are laughing in response to all the rumors.
I love it.
I
I didn't
feel-
see that.
Then he said,
Oh,
breaking
that's
news,
great.
I'm also the CEO of something. It didn't like he's
Right.
not, but he made a joke, like a source, me.
It's just the animator.
I
Yeah,
love it.
it's so it's just like I don't know. The Sony fanboys, they're weird because they're like in this cult of like hype. Everything is awesome. Like it's like the Lego song is in their head and it's
Yes.
Yeah.
all the
That's
time.
good.
And it's
Mm.
like they're throwing pity parties for Xbox. They're not flaming them. It's just like, oh, they got the wine glass. Yes, Xbox. Poor Xbox doesn't have Horizon Forbidden West or a game that looks like it. Poor Xbox. It's just like they're just such.
Tragic.
It's so tragic, really tragic.
So
It's just really strange. It's just really. It's a part of me is like, is this a plant? Like, was this a plant to like
Right.
distract from the bad showcase? That's where I get. That's where my conspiracy.
That's your
You know when
tinfoil
you're
hat,
all yelling
right.
about, yeah, like game media, whatever. Like, I'm really like,
Mm-hmm.
where's this? This is
Well, I'm
This is
I'm not
interesting.
looking forward to the lead up to the Xbox showcase of the ridiculous expectations that community,
and guys.
toxic side of that community is going to put on
Yeah.
Xbox. If they
If-
don't show this, they're done. And I'm like,
That it's automatically right,
go with
that's
an
automatically
open
done.
mind.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to overhype
Go with an
it.
open mind. Go with
Yeah.
no expectations.
Yeah.
Go with none. Okay, because you're like, yeah, there's no way Xbox is going to drop the ball. Well, sweethearts out
They
there,
have done
I
it
got to
before.
tell you,
And you've been
I
around.
They've
didn't
done
think
it
PlayStation
several
was going to drop the ball
times.
last
They've done
week.
it multiple
didn't think they
times
were gonna.
and dropped one of the worst games in terms of ports in a long time.
So let's just be thankful when next week comes around or whatever that we get really good, like that we just get games.
Yeah.
Because at this
Oh,
point,
you get-
I
That's
feel
all we
like we're
need.
It's a
also
low
getting
bar
tired
that
of.
bit.
We are also. I'm telling you, we're also getting tired of the predictions that don't come true.
Mm.
Yeah.
We're getting tired of it.
Yeah.
We're getting tired of
that's
the
Insider's fatigue.
exactly. Okay?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I was
like-
really looking forward to that Asobi game, Astro's Playroom full-blown game, which I think is still happening. I was really looking forward to seeing that, and it didn't
I
happen.
loved
but
Astrobot's Playroom. So
I did
like,
too.
I would
Sorry,
love
sorry to
another one
throw
of them.
you off there, but yeah, I'm with you.
Well, gosh, if you want to, Joe, let's go ahead and because I know you need to take off, but let's go ahead and tell everybody. Ice cream! The ice cream man is coming! Sorry. Anyway, just let them let everybody know
Wu-Tang reference.
where you can be found and everything. And thanks again for being here, man. I cannot thank you enough. It's so
Of
awesome to
course.
have you on.
And let me tell you guys something. I love talking video games. That's the thing that I love to talk about. You know, I want to take one more tangent because I'm on one today.
Go for it.
Let's do it.
When I was a kid, I was a Nintendo gamer. My life revolved around that N64.
Same.
When I was a teen, I was pretty down the middle, but I was mainly going like I remember Halo, you know, like the OG Halo 2, Xbox Live. That's what I remember. I was a 360 kid. And then mid-gen, I was a multi-platform kid. It wasn't until like me being 18, 19 where I was just like, no, this is where I'm going to play the majority of my games is PlayStation. So I always come through what I feel as a unique perspective of there are really great games everywhere. There's great games on Xbox. There's great games on PlayStation. There's great games on Nintendo. Why limit myself to one console? To me, my job is to cover PlayStation. It is not to, be the defense squad for PlayStation. The awesome thing that I've seen over the past few days is people giving praise to our work over at the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast, seeing Xbox folks go, hey, listen, he's a PlayStation guy. He's got tolerable takes. I'll take those as praise.
That's why we send them to you in BitCloud. I'll be honest with you. There's a reason that people, not to cut you off, but there's a very good reason you guys are here tonight and not other PlayStation creators. It's on purpose.
Oh,
because we know that you
because we love you guys.
because you guys play games. We love you guys, and you guys. We feel like you're honest. You tell the truth, you know,
Genuine,
and that's why you are genuine. What it might be, my truth might be different from your truth, but I believe when you say what you say, it's with sincerity. So thank you for coming out.
Yeah, and thank you guys. So like when we get these invites, it means a lot. When you guys are like shouting both of us out, I love seeing it. Like for the Iron Lords today, just like seeing everybody go Big Cloud or Bad Bit, Big Cloud or Bad Bit.
So many people.
That's why I told Dave. I'm like they're going to be on. I told Dave. I said they're gonna be on ILP because everyone's saying their names, and I don't blame them. So I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, I was actually shocked by that. My DMs were literally blowing the hell out. They was like, "Oh, who'd you like to see on ILP today?" It was like Big Cloud and Bad Bit. I'm like.
That's because you guys are awesome, and we know it, and everybody else knows it too. So, again, thank you guys.
That's why I follow BitCloud, just because I can expect a reasonable, level-headed opinion about stuff.
Exactly,
and it's
not overblown.
Like when we go out to make the Trophy Room, it's not to make a safe opinion so we don't offend anybody. That's not how we live. It's what you said, RHETRI. It's about making sincere takes. We're not here the way I make the Trophy Room every week. It's like we're not here to agree with each other all the time on said thing. It's the hey, let's disarm this. Because this is literally just video games. It's not the end of the world. Exactly. And let's have fun. Let's make a show that not just is informative for PlayStation, but it's fun. And that if you are a Nintendo gamer, you're going to enjoy yourself. The biggest compliment that we see all the time is like Xbox folks going, hey, this is the podcast that I listen to. That means something for us. We want everybody to enjoy the show regardless of platform, though it is a platform centric show.
Not that you don't want to be in a bubble. You know what I mean? You never want to put yourself in general in a bubble. And that's why RGT is so open. Like, it might seem like it's predominantly PlayStation, but it really is not. My panel has PCs. My panel has Xboxes. We all have PlayStation. It's just, we want more good. You know what I mean? We want a perfect blend of good news out here, but that's what we hope for. And that's what we do. We just talk. That's why it stands for RGT, is just real gamers talk. That's what we do. We just talk.
I love it.
So that said, and then I can't. It's got to be soon, right? You can follow me over at Mr.
That truck is gone. I heard it skirt off.
Dude, I don't know. All the motorcycles.
I heard that too.
Motorcycles galore here, man. It's nuts.
Should be like the episode of Dexter's Lab. Ice cream man. Why won't you stop for me?
All of a sudden, I'm booking at 70 miles per hour to catch up. But you can follow me over at Mr. Badbit on Twitter. You can follow the show at PS Trophy Room on Twitter. You can follow the Trophy Room, a PlayStation podcast, over on YouTube at youtube.com/@PS Trophy Room. And you can follow the Trophy Room over on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, where right now, guys, kind of goes back to what we were saying earlier. You rate us 5 stars on either platform. You share it to us at PS Trophy Room or in our Discord. You are entered to win a copy of Diablo 4 for whatever platform, PC, Xbox, PlayStation,
Nice.
you name it, it's yours if you rate us 5 stars over on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. And this week is going to be big because we are going to be interviewing Ben Starr from Final Fantasy 16, the lead voice actor. And I've been saying it. This is my selling point. He's one of us. He is a gamer. He is through and through. He is the biggest, like one of the biggest Final Fantasy fans ever. It's like he's like, this was the role I was born for. To see him and Kyle, the banter between them, just giggling over like their favorite Final Fantasies, Final Fantasy 9. Like, I'm telling you, I'm gonna be replaced by Ben Starr. And he's just like, and literally after the podcast, he's like, hey, can I come back like, you know, when the game's all done and we could just talk PlayStation? I was like, you could be a guest. You're open. So honestly, I know the summer months get a little slow. We're going to be filling them with awesome voice actors, developers talking about games. So
cool.
I don't know if you like things like Red Dead Redemption or, you know, Resident Evil 4 or anything like that. Maybe you should be tuning into the trophy room in the next coming months.
Awesome.
And shout out to Kyle too. He's great.
Yes, dude. And I've been saying this on every show too. Kyle's had a really rough week. Actually, here's one last story, and then I go. He had to put his dog down before the showcase, like that morning. And then the Neva trailer came out, and he's like, "Fuck, he's for real." Like the Neva trailer where like the wolf dies. He's just like, fucking, it had to be today. It had to be today.
Sorry, Kyle.
Seriously, nieces had to go to like the
dude.
emergency room, emergency surgery. Like he's sick right now. Like dude's had, I think, the worst week imaginable. So go at Mr. K-Step on Twitter. I'm gonna put it in the chat here because send this boy some love. Tell him to get better. Tell him all the things, please.
Hearts and prayers go out to him.
Give him some love.
Appreciate that.
And just to let everybody know that everybody's information, all the guests tonight, their descriptions and everything are already in the chat right now, so you can click on it through. But we still like to have them tell it out loud too. So, Joe, if you need to take off, thank you so much for being here. Greatly appreciate you.
Anytime,
man.
Anytime.
We'll put the bat signal up again, I'm sure. All right. So I guess Big Cloud, did you want to tell everybody where they can find you at?
Oh yeah, man. It's Big Cloud Gaming, YouTube, Twitch, Twitter. You can also find me at lordsofgaming.net. I'm also a writer there. So I've written one review so far, but it was really well received. That was really cool to see. And you find me there pretty much. I'm also one of the curators for IGN playlist. So shout out to IGN for that opportunity. So that's where you can also go there, make your own custom playlist, share it with your community, and be surprised how many games you have in common with others. So it's pretty cool. That's a way of building, meeting people within the industry and whatnot. So yeah, pretty much best place you can find me. I want to say thanks for the invite. It was fun. Good hanging out with everybody. Shout out to the chat. And I appreciate the love, the good words. Appreciate it. Nice talk to you.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to talk to you, Panda.
Absolutely.
Dave, I talked to you multiple times. You even interviewed me, so I already don't say much. And of course, RHETRI, of course. So y'all be good, and y'all enjoy the rest of your weekend. See you later.
Thanks, bud. Appreciate you being here. Thank you.
Anytime. Y'all be good.
Awesome. All right, cool. Well, I wasn't like trying to get rid of them. I just knew that they both had long days. No, they've had long days.
Yeah, they've had a long day. I don't blame them.
Yeah. After ILP,
Well, let me ask you this, Red Panda, do you have a few more minutes, or you need to go
I've got the whole day.
Ooh, well, all right then. Let's see. Not a 6-hour marathon like RHETRI had his game night last night, but
I know.
But
what were you playing last night on your 6-hour marathon?
I was playing the most hated game on planet Earth, Redfall, and I enjoyed myself. Yep.
So that's a game that did not need to be $70. I guess Game Pass made it a bit more bearable, but
it definitely did not need to be
$70. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't heard anyone argue. I haven't heard a single person, even everyone I played it with, say, "Yeah, this is worth $70." Nobody. But
like I game share, so like
we're enjoying it
on everything.
Yeah, I mean it's in Game Pass, otherwise, like I said, even during it, I'd be pretty bullshit if I paid $70 for that.
There's a
Infinite
comment
Umbra
for you.
Suffering through Redfall. I'm not suffering that much. There's a lot of bad stuff about Redfall, but I am having fun with the people I'm playing with. So I crap on it a lot because it deserves it. But it's the lowest rated game I've ever played that I'm actually enjoying, and it's not many are in the 50s that I'm like, yeah, this is all right.
Trolled like Rise and Roman. They trolled like
Yeah.
Quantum Break,
that
and
game's
I
great.
loved
I will
those
fight people on
games.
that one.
Like
Yeah,
I
I
loved
agree.
Quantum Break so much, and I still actually have to go play like Control because they're working on like Control 2. But like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I've just kind of really wanted a Quantum Break sequel. They left it open to be like, he looks like he's going to go back and try and prevent that chick's death. Yeah. So who knows?
Yeah,
Very cool.
BC McNasty must have been watching us. We were getting he says, RHETRI, I saw Bloody Tom giving you all issues last night. Yeah, we were getting our butts kicked from that boss. It was rough. I might have
improved the difficulty with the game with the scaling when you're playing like 4-player co-op.
Yeah, I mean you can scale it. I have it on. There's like Daylight, Dusk. I don't even know what the other one because I'm not messing with the hard one because it's game's hard enough. So I'm on Dusk, which is like the middle one, and a lot of people are having issues with Dusk. Surprisingly, I don't know, but I guess we did have some issues last night. But yeah, it's tough. You know, sometimes you playing with people that are like level 3. Shout out to Silent Cypher. I know he's not here live tonight. He's got some stuff to do, but and then I'm like a level 22, and he's like, and he comes in playing with us, and first thing he says is, "I'm sorry." I'm like, dude, I don't care. Like, it's all good. He's like, "I'm not gonna really help you. We just told him to run in circles and be the target." And we would kill all the bad guys, but
get the aggro.
Right? You're the anchor. Yeah, thank you.
Too funny. Oh, Rich, we did have another topic that we can actually throw into the mix. I think you even got a video there too.
With this one. Oh, that's just the cover cars. I actually wanted to talk about. I can actually talk about that real quick. And that's just Forza Motorsport cover cars were revealed. I don't know if this is gonna work because my thing's being weird. Oh, sorry, I forgot to.
I know it's cool. I just gonna need to do brand.
I got it.
There, you got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so we got the cover cars, which I accidentally just deleted. What they were?
The names of them.
Yeah.
One's
okay. So it was the Cadillac Racing V Series and the 2024 Chevrolet Corvette E-Ray. So the only reason I was kind of even really mentioning this is there was a little bit of debate, like, is this game coming out this year? That pretty much seals the deal. Once they show you the cover cars on Forza, it's coming. It's coming this year, if there was any debate.
Forza has a history of, like, kind of showing their games and then, like, a couple of months later releasing them. So I highly anticipate that we're going to see it at the Xbox Showcase and then get the final announcement date for like October. I don't think they're going to probably push it into November. It's definitely not coming out in September with Starfield. I think it's October. Yeah,
I agree. Yeah,
I'm excited. I'm so excited. That game looks fire.
Yeah, I guess I'm like I like the other one. The she's my brains. Not Motorsport. The open world one more, just because if you've ever
Horizon series.
Horizon series. No, I love you, Boom. Too. But I like Boom, isn't the best driver, and neither am I. Like, I'm kissing the guardrail 99% of the time when I play Motorsport. I'm just bad at the game. But I'm going to try it out because it's going to be the most beautiful game ever. And maybe, I don't know, maybe I'll get it.
I see it as like a tech demo, this game, sort of like, think of like the One X. And when we saw Forza Motorsport 7 doing 4K 60, and no one expected 4K 60 on that game. And that game looked stunning on that console. And that's what they showed it. Like all the gameplay was shown running on a Xbox One X. And I'm hoping that we're going to see the gameplay running on a Series X officially, like, that's what I expected the showcase. But I really want to see, like, because they've updated the Forza engine to take advantage of the hardware and for both PC and console. And it just looks like a step well and above compared to like, no, it's hard to compare a cross-gen game, but like,
Mhm.
and originally the GT7 game was announced as PS5 only, and then it later came out as being a cross-gen game.
Right,
But
yeah.
it's like, this is going to be the proper next-gen iteration of what we should expect for these racing games that release on console. And I'm expecting that. It's not the most amazing cover art. I do prefer the Forza Horizon cover art.
Yeah.
Just because you can kind of put this ridiculous like background on there because you're going to be hooning through that landscape, so it makes sense in that regard. But I'm going to be jumping onto that game just to kind of really go, this is probably the first game I can probably say like, this is why you buy a Series X.
Bing, I'm so glad you went there, Panda, because that's kind of, I was like, wait a second, this is probably going to be the first real showpiece. I know Starfield's coming out before this, and that's September, but I don't think that's a showpiece game outside of scope and just how massive Starfield will be.
No.
This is going to be the first real like holy
technical
crap game.
showpiece for the game, yeah.
Technical showpiece. You know, if it comes out in October, and if it, you know, obviously it will come out before Hellblade 2, which also will be a technical showpiece.
Hellblade 2 is just, when that was announced in 2019, like just to look at the engine and like the music and everything, and you could just see how far ahead they'd come with the oh my god, why can I think of it? The motion capture on the face, and I was just floored. And then like even when we watched the Unreal Engine like MetaHumans like tech demos with her doing some of the facial animation and everything like that, like you just know that what's coming in that game is going to be insane. And Ninja Theory themselves have said that they want to be at the top cutting edge of like graphics and what these what they can do around what they can deliver with the game.
Pushing the
limit. They want to be one of those top devs worldwide, and I think I really can't wait for that game. I've played the first one twice.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, okay.
I have a lot of faith. I mean, that was a team of 20 that is now 6 times the size that they were when they made first Hellblade, and they are going all
projects.
out.
Yeah,
they got Project Mara, which is, you know, the psychological horror, which also they're doing the exact same thing that you just said. They are pushing the graphical limits which is smart. Doing a smaller project, they're keeping it all inside one apartment building. That way they can make this probably the most photorealistic game ever. Like it looks so crazy. I have a lot of faith in that team. So
I am dying for Fable though. That's Fable is my heart and soul of why I love Xbox. So that's what I need in my life. I need me some Fable, and I need it to have some great.
Do you think we'll see
British comedy?
I think we're going to see something. Do you think
everyone
we'll see something at the
who
showcase?
knows something has said that we're 99.9% likely to see something from Fable?
Let's hope.
I hope so. I think we will, because like last year Matt Booty kind of said like he was ready to show stuff, but they weren't ready. It's now a year later. I feel like they're probably ready to show stuff, to really give us an idea of what we can expect from that game.
100%. Yeah.
I don't think it's launching next year. I reckon it's 2025. If it launches next year, end of year 2024, I think it's a 2025.
Yeah, at best. Yeah, I would say Fable probably 2025. But I'm also excited for like Avowed, because Obsidian.
Obsidian's been killing it.
Yeah,
and their trailers are hilarious.
Yeah,
I love their trailers.
The trailer where they were poking fun at other trailers and themselves was just one of the best
guy you're never going to see in the game.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was too good. All right, I think the last thing I wanted to just briefly mention, well, and this is kind of fitting with what Panda said earlier, is Lionsgate boss confirms a John Wick AAA game coming in. Now he said this during I think it was earnings call. So he says, he's quoted as saying, "We're now moving across that franchise," meaning John Wick, not just in AAA video game space, but looking at what the regular cadence of spin-offs, television really growing that universe, so that there is a steady cadence of a franchise that there's clear appetite by that audience, Drake explained. So that's kind of cool. That's kind of exciting. There's no hint or who the heck could be developing this AAA John Wick game. But guys, Dave, I'll go with you first. Have you watched all the John Wick films? Is this something that moves the needle for you? Are you excited about a possible AAA version of John Wick?
RHETRI, I have the official movie
know.
poster for John Wick.
I didn't know
4
if you
on my
actually saw it, though.
shoulder. Yes. Yes, I have. I've actually seen it twice. It is amazing, and believe the hype is all I gotta say. It is
Yep.
awesome. Yes,
It's
do
not
I want to
BS.
see it? I would
It's
love
not
it.
BS.
I would. Somebody had mentioned like, well, what if like the coalition or something like that would make it? I mean, I don't know. I don't know. There'll be. I mean, there's lots of different ways you could approach it. I guess there's the other little overhead game
Flight
that's available
sequence.
now. Yeah, and that's okay, but I really want something you can really sink your teeth into, a high level AAA. You know, yeah, with
I hate to
with
keep
the voice
mentioning the
acting and
studio,
everything.
but id Software sure as hell feels like a great studio for gunplay for a John Wick film, in my opinion. I mean, John Wick AAA game.
John Wick.
John Wick. Yeah.
Exactly.
If you have not watched John Wick 4,
What?
everything we were told is no exaggeration. I'm just going to mention there's a traffic
spoilers.
circle scene.
No spoilers.
I'm not
Okay,
spoiling.
I know,
Just
okay.
there's a traffic circle scene that is uneffing believable, and there's
Insane,
there's an overhead shot scene where they're moving around inside apartments as he's using incendiary rounds. Holy crap! Was that
Those rounds were
beautiful?
cool.
That was, oh god, you guys! If you,
I mean,
if
they
you
could
like
even do
action
that in the
films, go see
game.
it.
You know what? They could actually
Yes,
recreate
Dave.
that in the game for one
That
part
would be
and move out. Yeah.
fantastic.
So yeah.
Well,
Does this
like,
excite
what
you,
engine
Panda?
do you think? What engine do you think they would put it on? Because you need a engine that
Unreal
has
5?
a lot.
I mean,
I was thinking
probably 5.
probably Unreal
It's
5.
probably going to be
You
Unreal.
need something that's going to be really, and you're going to have some really good animators in there. And I feel like,
Yes.
you know what Naughty Dog was
There's gonna
doing with
be-
the way they were talking about the animations when you're like running and pick something up, and what was it for Last of Us 2? I feel like you're going to need someone who can just do those animations, and that game would just be, if they could get it right and execute it right, it would be insane and would just sell gangbusters, honestly.
Yeah.
Like that over the top shot in John Wick 4 where they're, like you said, going through the apartment. Like if you had a scene like that, like
Wow.
even a cut scene, an engine would be quite
Yes.
cool before you go in and like yeah, it's just, I would be super hyped for a game like this. Just like I'm super hyped for Wolverine, because I feel like Wolverine is just insane. But
We
like
know, Umbra.
you got to know like who's doing it, top caliber, and they've got to really, really break down the games. They've got to go in and make sure like whoever's the animators have like good weapons training, all of that sort of
Yeah.
stuff, so they really know how the body moves to be able to execute some of those moves that we see in John Wick 4
Yeah.
or any of the John Wick games. As long as there's like a pencil type of situation where you can use a pencil, I'm sold.
Yeah.
Right. I got you. For a second, I was lost. I was like, oh, right, the pencil. Yeah. You brought up a really good point, Panda. This is why I'm so glad I invited you tonight, because you were mentioning like the animations. You're right. There's a studio that you have to have a studio that can do, like, you have to be in the action doing it yourself, and then have like a very quick animation in between. Like whoever's going to pull this off, it's got to be fluid. That would be tough.
People are going to pull apart jank. If there's jank, they're going to rip it to
Yes.
shreds, and you can't have jank.
Yeah.
Like the fluidity in that Phantom Blade Zero game was
Yes,
very impressive.
That's a good point. Yeah.
So, like, I feel like engines are set up nowadays to make it a lot easier. But like, looking at what is it, Undead Labs, they had like people kind of split off from them, and all they're solely working on for Unreal Engine 5 is animations. That little team is focusing on that, because then they can go into other studios who are working on, even within the Xbox side, and go to them and go, and if they're using Unreal Engine 5, and help them with the animations and be like that specialized team. So you need to know like there is someone who's going to put that time and effort in. This franchise is so beloved that you can't misstep on it at all. Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's not going away either. They're talking about they already got several spin-offs happening. They're going, into
John Wick
TV
5.
as well. So, yeah, John Wick 5 they're definitely doing.
Yep.
Infinite Umbra, I'm just noticing the Wick poster in your background. Yeah.
That's the first thing I noticed, and I was like, yeah. And I was like,
full
I just watched
disclosure,
that. Yeah.
my daughter works, she's a floor manager for the Malcolm movie theater here locally. And she gets me all the coolest fucking shit. I wish I could hand my camera over and show you. I have what they call a bus poster of the Avatar: The Way of Water. It is
nice.
70 inches tall and 50 inches wide, and I have it mounted over a window, so when the light shines through in the background, oh god, it's amazing.
That's so cool.
Because all official movie posters are two-sided. They ink the backside in reverse so that it can show through with light. So and those are all official movie posters. Yeah, and my daughter makes sure that I know that the Mario one is one I'm borrowing from her.
Yeah,
right. Yeah,
it's on loan.
She goes, when I move out, Dad, that one's going with me. I'm like,
you're right. Yeah,
you'll see, young Padawan.
Fair enough.
You'll see.
Fair enough.
Oh goodness, this has been
I'm
awesome.
excited for it. So
yeah, me too. And Red Dead Panda, thank you so much for being here tonight. This has been awesome. And I did send you an invite to an interview. We'll talk about that whenever you get some a chance and some time, and we'll figure out a time when maybe we can do that in the next couple of weeks or so. It'll be great. I'd love to have you on the show. But RHETRI, man, what a great show tonight, huh? Been awesome.
Absolutely. Hey, everyone killed it as expected. Why we invite who we do on these shows.
It was just a random encounter though, RHETRI. Like getting invited onto the show.
Basically, what happened was Umbra's like, hey, you want to go on Panda's show? And I was like, absolutely. And then we met and I was listening to you guys and I'm like, man, she's really good. Like, so instantly I'm writing down, do not forget. This is what I do. I write on my little pad. I'm like, do not forget to invite Red Panda to your show. That's what I wrote. I still have it right here. So I appreciate you coming through. They're absolutely
hopefully she'll be back again on this one.
Yeah. I've been gaming since the NES, so I love gaming. Yeah.
Awesome. Nice. Mm-hmm. Very cool. Well, Panda, if you don't mind, tell everybody where they can find you at.
Well, you can find me on Twitter. My Twitter handle's there. It's in the chat. It's in the wherever it was below you said earlier. I can't even remember. Comments. Yeah. You can find me on YouTube at Red Dead Panda Gaming. I am slack at putting content up. I'm kind of setting myself up to do some lives through my channel instead because I find like that's easier with my ADHD rather than editing and not getting it perfect.
Nice.
So I'll be doing that instead. And then you can find me on the Gamers Initiative podcast, which is Friday. What time is it? 5:30 p.m. Eastern, and Saturday morning, 9:30 a.m. New Zealand Standard Time. So it runs the gambit just based on the time zones. So it's always Friday night and then Saturday morning, my time. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you again for being here. I really appreciate it. RHETRI, tell everybody where they can find you and all the awesome stuff that you do with your Game Pass Daily.
Yeah, you guys can find me Game Pass _daily on Twitter. I just dropped the link to that, and Game Pass Daily on the YouTubes, which I will drop the link to right now. And of course, you guys can join. You can find me on the Xbox Factor podcast on Tuesdays with Boom, Umbra, and Danny. And you can also join the Discord Community Game Nights Discord, which I will drop the link for that in a second. I have to get the new one because it changes constantly.
Find it fast. There you go. That's funny.
Yeah. I'm good.
No, I'm just teasing. I'm teasing.
That's what I got.
He's scrambling is what I meant.
I got. Yeah.
Awesome. Yes, and that's in the it's easier to if you do a search on Discord. Oh, there he's got the current one up. Yeah, because they change it like every couple of days.
Yeah,
so
they'll kill it.
We
like
didn't realize
like
that at first.
Hours.
It was like,
someone had to tell us, your link isn't working, sir. I'm like,
even
bad.
The permanent link, because you get like a temporary link. Does the permanent link change as well?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Weird?
I didn't know there was a difference. See, I just learned something new. See, that's
there's two links. You get a temporary one and a permanent one.
Yeah,
I'm
I
kind
think
of
it's,
new
it's,
on
it's
doing it.
probably the temporary one that does it because that way
I'm
you can send out
guessing
invites.
that's what it is.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna throw this in the chat too, that we do actually have merchandise for this show. So if you wanted to jump on and get anything cool from us, that would be cool. You don't have to.
Mhm.
And we don't do it for the money. We do it because we just like all of our people that come watch us, and we greatly appreciate you guys being here. And again, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. I know we went a little long tonight, but
thank you for
man,
the
it was
super
so
chats
much
too. Our
fun.
first show.
Yeah,
with
first
being,
super chats,
able to do
and if
super
you want to
chats.
become a member of the channel, here, I'll do it real quick. These are some of the cool emotes that we have so far. We have like about 15 in the can ready to go. As we get
we
more
got a bunch
members,
of
we'll be able
stuff
to drop
coming.
more. But yeah, there's even ones with me, and there's ones with RHETRI and Ahsoka. Yeah, and then our logo. But there's a whole bunch of others that are coming that are actually pretty cool. So, but if you become a member, it's like the minimum is like $5 a month, which we appreciate if you do that. If you're not, that's fine too. It's cool. We just appreciate you being here. We enjoy each and every one of you for being here, and it means a lot to us. And thanks to everybody. And as we wrap things up here, let me get on the right screen because I'm rambling and talking in nonsense. So, hey, there we go. I'm on the right screen now. Anyway, thanks to everybody for joining us here at the Gamers Council.
Peace.